Weapons check real quick to see if I did that. Because I am not sure if I did that or not. Let's look. So if we open up Freak, Trollhead Flail, Strength, I had not modified it yet. So it's going to be 1d10 one-handed, and if you use it two-handed, it's a 1d12. And if you use it two-handed, you can't hold a shield as you use it.
I don't think I'm ever gonna get a shield. Didn't we agree on like magic damage for the thing or not?
It is not magical currently. In order for it to do magical damage, you're gonna have to keep upgrading it.
Oh, okay.
So
Alright, I'm just gonna change its name.
Do it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You can choose which damage it does. Okay.
Yep. Just by clicking.
Okay.
Oh, and before we click off of that, we probably should put that in there, making it strength-based. Okay.
Okay, but now it's stuck on two-handed, or... Really? Okay, so two-handed is slashing damage, and one-handed is piercing damage, okay. Alright, just to change the name.
Okay, so as this is going on, I think where I'd like us to kind of start and where would be the most interesting is if we kind of cut away from the scene of this fight and return to Ponder with Remilia Haventree. And I don't have a specific map for this, so I'm just going to pop us over to the Troll Skull Alley map. Because about everybody is there anyways. So I believe, looking at the notes, Ponder, the negotiations were really just starting as you were sitting down.
Oh boy, we lost Cosmo.
Oh, power just went out.
Oh boy. Oh, okay, he'll be back in a second.
Okay, no problem. So Ponder, do we want to pick up kind of from where we left off?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we just done introductions, and I told her why I was there. I think.
That's exactly right. Okay, so you've sat down, you've given your introductions, and Amelia, she's that sexy-looking vampire kind of lady. And not necessarily a vampire, but not necessarily doesn't look like she isn't one. And she would be kind of interested in what you would have to say, so she would probably say something along the lines of, "So, you've come to my home with this letter of recommendation from dear Renier. Tell me exactly why are you in my home?"
Well, our mutual friend, Mr. Neverember, has indicated that you share some of our values about empowering some of the people who are downtrodden in this region. Is that a fair statement?
That would be more than fair. I am, of course, about the empowerment of the weak and the downtrodden. I would be looking forward to making sure that Waterdeep is a city looking to the future, not to the past.
Well, that's good to hear you say. One of our concerns that has recently come to light is the over-harvesting of duskwood trees, and the druids and rangers and all of those who live in that region and protect them are very upset about that over-harvesting, and we've come up with a plan to limit that to a more sustainable amount. As you know, they take quite a long time to mature. course, this will have the side effect of increasing the cost for those who, are determined to use Duskwood um, in spell books and other things. And so Mr. Neverember and I are planning to make a large investment in some of those alternative materials, and he suggested that you might be interested in investing as well. And of course, part of that is to prevent any nefarious factions from cornering the market. But secondly, that investment should pay off handsomely and provide us with funds to continue the work of empowering those downtrodden. I have several ideas for how to put those profits back into benefiting the community, and I'm certainly open to any ideas that you have to do the same.
Well, it sounds like quite the good idea, and I'm sure Rainier has told you that I have quite the reputation for being well connected. I have a supplier in Luskin that runs Lasper paper back and forth, and I would be more than willing to share my supplier with you and Mr. Neverember and whoever else you are trying to help out with this.
Excellent. Well, we would appreciate the supplier, certainly, and Mr. November indicated that you may also be interested in providing some of the capital to start up the adventure.
She nods her head and she says, I, of course, would be interested in providing you some startup funds, a angel investor, if you would, but, of course, the law of the land comes in here, You want me to scratch your back? You're going to have to scratch mine. And the mention of nefarious guilds or factions in the region just makes me think of how this gang war between the Zentarum and the Xanathar Guild is just tearing our city apart. And she kind of looks to the entryway, and you see the butler that brought you up kind of close the door. And she says, I'm sure that you may have guessed that Rainier and I share a lot in common. Our stature in the city, our manservants, and she flips open her collar, and you see that she has a silver harp pin pinned to the inside of her collar.
I recognize this as a symbol of the Harpers, right?
Correct. And she says, if you are to complete a mission for me in the Harpers, I would be more than willing to supply you with the funds you need, supply my Lasbar supplier, and we can get this little wizard paper, spell scroll, delivery service, or however you want to call it, off the ground and moving.
Well, I certainly think that's a fair request, and the one thing I might ask is, some of our party are not quite as long-range thinkers as one might hope, and a small immediate reward upon completion would be all it would take to encourage them.
Well, here's the mission that I think that maybe you yourself or you and your compatriot here, and she looks to Rebecca when she says this, maybe you two can solve this in a quite quick fashion. You see, we have an agent working in the city by the name of Maxine. She works undercover as, as a Dre working in the city. But I should tell you that you will be quite surprised when you meet her, as she is a horse. A talking mare. Locate her, and find out if she's learned any identities of Zentarum operatives in the city, and to determine their whereabouts. Just knowing their identities and where they normally locate would be a huge boon for me and the organization.
Certainly. And where might I look for this? This.
Well, she's not exactly hard to find as she's a talking horse, but I suggest looking. And she calls her butler over and kind of whispers into his ear real quick, and then he whispers back. And she scribbles onto a piece of paper, and she slides it over. Look at this address. It's actually quite close by here in the castle ward. It's a jeweler's shop. Maxine is known to park herself there, hoping to give rides to people and, of course, give them the little bit of a scare when they find out that she's a talking horse.
Silly me, I assumed she would keep that fact discreet. Is there anything I should take from you or tell her to signify that I am, in fact, working for you?
You see Ramelia close her eyes, kind of think for a second, and walk over, and she puts her hand into her pocket and pins a silver pin onto your chest.
A little silver heart pin?
Yep.
Sweet.
She says that will be more than enough.
All right. Well, thank you, Lady Haventree. I look forward to continuing our venture together.
She says, well, thank you. Once you have came back from gaining the information from Maxine, we will get this show on the road. Oh no, I just saw Thurman's message.
Yeah, we were waiting for you to spot that one.
Well, I hope that his work shift goes well. So I'm gonna post exactly what the mission requirement is into the active missions. That way we know exactly what we need to do. So she pins the Harper pin onto your chest. She says her goodbyes, and we can say that you and Rebecca both exit her home and are sent off to find that information. Now, as this is happening, let's cut over to Cosmos. Cosmos, are you currently able to hear and all that good stuff?
Yeah, it was just a blip.
Okay, perfect. So Cosmos, you're currently fixing the house. You got your hard hat on, you've got your construction belt, and you're just fixing the house. And from your current position on the home, you see a half-elfin man approach you.
Hello, sir.
And he harks to you and he says, "Hello there, neighbor."
Oh, you're my neighbor?
Yes, the name is Tally Fellbranch.
Hi, Tally.
And I'm trying to move him over to your position. He kind of waves and he says, "I'm the owner of the Bent Nail Store. It's just right down the alley from you."
Oh, that's terrible. Why would you have a bent nail?
Oh, it's quite a pun, you know. I'm a carpenter, and I thought it could be a funny way for people to see the store, have a chuckle before they come in.
Oh, I was quite worried.
I quite understand, sir. It looks like that you are having a good day there fixing your house, but it looks like you might need some more permanent fixes than what you're doing.
I imagine so. I really don't know what I'm doing.
He says, I don't want it to be rude and say that I could tell, but I could tell.
Oh no, understandable. I'm just kind of putting the little things back together while my friends are gone.
Completely understand. Completely. Well, like I said, I am the owner and chief artisan of the Bent Nail. You know, I'm a carpenter and a wood carver, and I can tell you that that home is going to need a lot of work.
You sound like you could help. Is that what you're saying?
I definitely could help, but to tell you the truth, it's going to be quite an expensive job to put that back into completely working order and to pass any tests or inspections from the city.
Oh, expensive? I don't have any money. I gave it all to my friends.
Well, perhaps I can give you an estimate about how much it would cost.
Okay, yeah.
And Tally starts, walking up, and you see that this is like a estimate montage, measuring things, poking things, and, every so often he steps through a board, and you see him
I'm gonna follow right behind him.
Do it. And he's,
Does the ghost follow?
yeah, you guys can hear the ghosts, pitter-patters on the floor, slowly picking stuff up as it drops onto the ground. And, at the end of the inspection montage, Tally's, looking at all the things he's written down into his little parchment. And he says, Cosmos, I know we've just met, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is going to be quite the expensive fix. You're going to be looking at about 1,000 gold to put this into proper order in order to run this as a business, if that's your goal.
Oh man, that's a lot of speeches.
He laughs and he says, yes, it definitely would be. A lot of speeches, a lot of bounties. That's almost more money than most people would make in a year or 5 years.
I don't know, my friends are pretty strong.
Well, that's good to hear, but yeah, if you were my customer, I would tell you, hey, it might be worth it just to buy a new place of business. But if you're really invested in this place, it's got a strong foundation. It's just fixing all these cosmetic things, and then, of course, making sure no one falls through the floor or anything like that.
We got tunnels going down.
Right at that moment, your Thrykeen friend Critter would pop out from the root cellar and be like, yeah, I'm making tunnels! And Tally would be like, holy shit! Ah! And probably get completely terrified by that.
Oh, no, don't worry. He's fine.
He's like, that thing isn't going to eat my face, is he?
No more than I would.
And he's still...
Oh, that's probably not great. Sorry. I'm a tiefling. Sometimes I forget.
He's like, well... You might want to be careful about the surprises there, he yells over to Critter. And then he says, well, I can definitely help you out and do the work here. And it will take, a pretty gold piece like we have accounted. And it will take a little bit of time, right around 3 full 10 days to completely fix it up. So about, a month.
That's a long time.
Yes,
what am I going to do?
There's a lot of work to be done. If you have any rich friends or people with influence, this would probably be the time to talk to them. Otherwise, you're going to have to start doing menial labor after menial labor to get the money you need.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Yes.
Oh, no. Yeah, we just saved some rich guy. Well, what's like? I'm sure somebody's talking to him.
Well, perhaps your problem will be solved sooner than you might think. Well, I've spent a little bit too much time, even though it's time well spent here. I should go back and open up the store just in case anyone needs any...
Oh, yeah, fix those nails.
Once again, just a funny name. No bent nails in the store.
All right.
But if you do need any cosmetic woodworking, any items made of wood, arrow shafts, wooden armor, wooden shields, anything like that, you can come to the Bent Nail.
Could you do a pretty sign for the tavern once we find out the actual name?
Of course, I'm an expert carpenter and wood carver. A sign would definitely be within my realm of expertise. And if you were to buy the complete renovations, I would throw the sign in for free.
That is amazing, sir.
Well, it was fabulous to meet you, Cosmos. I
Yes.
I
nice
should
to
be
meet you,
going.
Callie.
And you see Tally kind of kind
Fix those
of
nails.
kind of waddle on his way. So we've got Jay kind of going to work with the horse. Cosmos is like, shit, we're gonna have to find a pretty penny here. And then Freak, what are you currently doing right now? You've got your new smashy stick.
Yeah, let's not ruin the moment. Yes, I got a new improved Morning Star. And I guess I'm just walking around the street. I mean, we didn't really have any other plans after the blacksmiths.
Correct. And Vincent Trench told you it'd be about a 10-day till he could get you the information you wanted, so it's going to be a while. Probably the only thing else that kind of catches your eye as you're walking through the neighborhood here is that you see a storefront with the name Froon's Brews on it.
We're really pushing that angle, aren't we? Yeah, all right, I'll go into the store.
Yeah, when you walk in, you see that it looks like a tavern that's not quite opened yet. And you see kind of behind the tavern is a guy that's kind of still fixing stuff up, who seems to be putting some things together. You see a human male commoner, not really impressive with his stature or anything, just kind of working behind the counter.
Mm-hmm. All right, do they spot me first, or do I introduce myself?
He seems to be wrapped up in the action of kind of putting things together.
I'm not gonna interrupt him he may accidentally be spooked and drop something. I'm just gonna wait for him to see me first.
Okay, quite a bit of time passes by until Emic turns around and hello there, Emic Froon. I'm the owner here of Froon's Brews. It's nice to meet you. Are you here for a brew?
Why not? I'm just walking around exploring the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, yes. You see, Froon's Brews is about to be the exclusive tavern here in Troll Skull Alley. Once I get everything put together, I can give you a sample.
Sure.
You see him pour a beer into a glass, and he slides it over to you.
I sip it slowly to savor the taste.
It is terrible. Quite possible.
I don't make a comment about it. I remain as stoic as possible, and I put it down.
Yeah, you think to yourself, this might be quite possibly the worst thing that I have ever drank.
Okay, but I don't tell him that. I just put it down. And I look at him, and remaining as stoically as possible, I say, it has an interesting flavor.
He says, yes. I was able to get that from some halfling brewers here in the city. But to tell you the truth, I'm not quite happy with the flavor quite yet, so I'm going to still shop around to see what the best thing to be here, to be served at Froon's Brews.
Very well.
Yes, I haven't seen you around the neighborhood. Are you just passing through, or are you a new tenant?
New tenant in the manor.
Troll Skull Manor.
Yes.
How were you able to get... That's a quite premier location there. How were you able to afford that?
Me and my group did a favor for someone.
Well, do you plan on just, turning it into a residential type of location, or what's your plans for the place?
Mostly residential. Whatever makes the most profit down the line.
Yeah, because
We'll try not to step on anyone's toes. We already have some issues with the guilds going around.
oh well, that's good to hear. You see, there's only room in the alley for one tavern, you see, and I kind of called dibs on it, so it'd be quite terrible to hear my new neighbors are going to open a tavern in opposition to mine.
I shrug. We're mostly making a place to stay and sleep. We'll probably just develop a kitchen in the back.
Well, that's good to hear. Well, hopefully that continues. I would hate to have us become at odds, become business rivals, or anything like that.
We're just starting out. We don't need the hassle of competition.
Well, okay. Well, not to sound rude or anything, but I should get back to work. I've got some more pre-opening stuff to do here at Fruin's Brews. It's gonna take me a little while before I'm really able to open this place up for the grand opening. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, sir.
Freak.
Well, quite the unique moniker there. Like I said, Imic Fruin, and he kind of reaches his hand across the what's it called, the countertop.
And I shake his hand and try my best not to crack it by accident.
As you shake his hand, you can smell a terrible scent coming from him.
Can I identify the scent?
Make a perception check. Let's see what your result is here. Yes, you can. You've walked by stalls that smell like this in the city. This is the smell of tanning liquids and the sulfates that they have to use to make leather, keep its shape. And you know that this type of stuff doesn't just wash off. So if you've been a tanner, you are going to know about it for probably the rest of your life.
Can I use perception to look around the store? Like to bar to see if I can spot anything?
What are you looking for exactly?
Mostly telltale signs that maybe he's low on money or he's just, I don't know, anything that sticks out, I guess.
We can use your 21 here. So
Okay.
as you take a smell, you can smell, okay, this dude stinks, number one. Number two, the beer he served you was awful. You can see that a lot of the woodworking, and finishings on the wood seems to be not professionally done. So you're probably taking a guess that this guy has been doing everything himself. And you remember walking through the door that the sign outside seems to be hand-painted by a non-professional painter. So it seems that this Imic is doing everything on his own.
I'm not gonna comment on it, but I kind of like make a note to tell the other guys about it later on. Like, because this is kind of odd. This looks like a place where a guy is trying to run away from something or change himself. Like, if he's not gonna bring up an issue, then I'm not gonna bring up the issue.
Right. And as you go to maybe turn around and walk away, as you're walking, you find yourself stepping into puddles. And as you look up, you can see that the roof is leaking.
All right. I can kind of see where this is going, but I need more information to make like a whole image.
Okay.
And I just turn around and tell him to have a good day and walk out.
Yeah, so you walk out, and Cosmos, can you hear currently or no?
Yeah, I got it fixed.
Okay, perfect. So, it sounds like, Slick Sick, you are able to discover that you guys may have a potential business rival kind of right next door here at Froon's Brews. And I will move
Where on the map is Froon's Brew? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it is right here. So almost directly next door. Cosmos, you found out exactly how much it is to actually get your guys' building up to snuff and actually put it into working order. And then, of course, Ponder, you kind of discovered exactly what it's going to take to get Remelia's funding when it comes to getting this business idea that you have started. So what do you guys currently want to do next? Do you guys want to kind of meet back up, consolidate as characters, or...
I kind of want to do this horse thing since it seems like it'll be quick.
And Slick Sick, no word from Rebecca yet.
We had a whole plan today for our discussion, but it requires her.
I'm going to PM her. So yeah, Ponder, you head out into the city, and you take a look for Maxine the horse. And following the kind of the directions that Remelia gave to you, you're able to find this jewelry store that she seems to be parked out at pretty easily. And as you're, kind of finding the jewelry store, you see that there's a kind of a long stable bar, where people tie their horses to. And as you get there, you're trying to basically figure out which horse is which. Can you make a investigation check for me as you're trying to spot the horse? But please do so with an advantage. Okay.
If I need to, I can flash the little pin and see which horse reacts.
And I think that's probably what would give you advantage, giving you a roll of a 20 here. And as you're walking by each horse, finally, you kind of hear them all making horse noises, except for one who seems to be a human voice making horse noises. So,
As odd as that sounds.
because there's obviously a difference, right, between a horse going, "Neigh," and then a human going, "Neigh." So you find the horse that kind of sounds like that. And then what do you do?
Maxine, I presume?
And you see the horse kind of turn her eyes to you and say, "Who's asking?"
I show her my
God,
pin.
it's a smoking horse.
I show her my pin and say, "My name is Ponder Borfeld. I'm sent here by Lady Haventree."
How do I know you didn't make one of those pins on your own?
Well, she seemed to think this would suffice, but perhaps the nature of my task will show you that I'm in earnest. She wanted to know if you've discovered any news and harem operatives' identities and whereabouts.
That does sound like something the lady would ask. And she looks over and she kind of sniffs you. And she pulls her head back and she says, "You kind of smell like the lady. Did you go to her private study?"
Ponder blushes just a little and says, "I did have that honor."
Did she let you drink the purple crush?
Wait, what?
Out of character, I don't remember drinking anything. I don't think we did, right?
I don't think so. She says, "That's good. When she lets people drink the purple crush, normally they can't go on missions or work for about a week. It's strong stuff. I don't know where she gets the wine. It's some kind of demi-plane-esque wine. They don't even make it in the city."
That just leads to more
Sounds a
questions.
bit too exotic for my taste.
Well, Panda, I think I believe you. Even though I think I'm going against my better judgment. I do think you're a member of the Harpers.
You got a Bostonian talking horse here?
I'm just imagining
Honk the car.
I'm wicked smart. What can I say?
Yeah, that's right.
Can someone ask how the horse can talk? Or are we gonna have a meow situation here?
It doesn't seem too far-fetched that a horse can talk. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys spot like a floating eyeball that shot laser beams.
Yes, but this is normalcy that is being subverted by an unnormalcy. I'm just kind of curious how a non-magical animal can be talking. Frankly, because I want to see if I can apply it to other animals.
Do you ask the horse how it can talk, Ponder?
No.
Okay.
Aw.
But maybe that'll be a stumper when I tell everyone what I did today.
All right, I'll ask him later.
So the horse will tell you, you see, Ponder, I gave a ride to this quite precarious sun elf and his half-orc bodyguard 2 days ago. I picked them up at an intersection, I don't really recall which one, and then dropped them off the yawning portal. They talked about hiring spies to root out the Xanathar Guild hideouts in the city. Did that sound familiar to you at all? I didn't get the names.
Okay, so this is way back to our session 1 stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Were we supposed to be the spies? I really don't remember.
Specifically, they did not hire you guys to be spies in the Xanathar Guild hideout.
Okay. Oh, Xanathar. Yeah, okay. I really can someone refresh my memory? I really don't remember. I was trying to keep track of
Our characters.
Zentarum and Xanathar and all that kind of Xylor and all that junk.
There's a lot of funky names. It sounded like Cosmos had something to add in.
I don't think any of us here now. I know Thurman and somebody went to talk to them to hand over.
No, I hadn't heard anything about that. So 2 days ago, you say, are these the only operatives you've learned about?
I'm afraid so. You see, it's hard out there for a talking horse. People always pick up on it. I think I'm doing a good job of pantomiming horse noises, but then they always say, hey, can you fucking talk? And then I'm like, no, I can't fucking talk.
That's quite a conundrum. I was surprised to learn that you didn't really keep it much of a secret. Have you ever tried maybe something you could focus on that would help you to remember not to respond, like maybe chewing something and just focusing on that so that your first instinct to respond is you can sort of focus away from that?
I asking if I've ever thought about chewing on some oats or maybe a long string of grass?
Something more durable. What's like the Forgotten Realms equivalent of chewing gum? I don't know.
I think it would just be chewing gum. I think they would have that. We will issue the edict that chewing gum is a thing.
I know my uncle, when he got a nasty cough and wanted to stop smoking his pipe, he started chewing gum, and that sort of helped him take the focus off that urge to pick up a pipe. I don't know if that would be of any use.
Well, fancy man, do you have any gum with you?
I don't, but I'd be happy to bring you some the next time I'm able to visit.
I'll take you up on that. Yeah, maybe I would be more useful as an agent. And the horse holds her hoof up, and you see that on the bottom of her hoof, you see the Harper insignia is kind of signed into her horseshoe.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you for the information, and I'll be seeing you soon.
I'll see you soon, Ponder, and just let me know if you ever need a ride. Maxine will be there for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, and good day.
Thank you. And then you are able to kind of walk away from Maxine. And the information that she essentially shared with you is that she knows of 2 Zentarum agents, a sun elf, and then a half-orc bodyguard that seem to have been dropped off at the Yawning Portal. Which your character would probably recognize quite readily.
I figured that I probably should know that, and I could not remember it.
Yeah, you would because we got in the whole fight, so you would know.
The elf one is the one that threw me. I remember. Okay. Did we kill both those guys?
No, you did not. You might remember the elf in man. Maybe you were watching this.
Was this at the end after we fought the troll, and then like right at the end we fought these guys?
No, it was before. Actually.
All right. Well,
First thing that happened, session 1.
But yeah, if you have either forgotten their names or like what exactly happened, you might have to maybe ask everybody, talk to Thurman and see exactly what he's got hidden in his noggin. Or maybe pump some other sources of information. They would possibly know.
Okay. Well, I think I would head back and see what everyone else is up to.
Okay. Yeah, you got that information from Maxine, the talking horse. Cosmos, you might have. Did you miss that Thurman got called into work strangely?
No, Thurman I saw, but Rebecca was on earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in that neck of the woods. Hopefully everything is all good. And I don't know about Enzo either. I thought Enzo was like, his job is closed, the gym is closed. I think he said MMA. He's probably asleep. Yeah, so Ponder's heading back. Cosmos, are you still just working on the house?
Yeah, I don't know where any of my friends are, so I don't walk around by myself. People don't like me.
And I'm a 6'6" dragon freak, and no one's reacting to me.
Slick Sick, as you are exiting Froon's Brews, do you just head right back to the house?
Is there anything else on the street to explore?
Really, you guys have seen all the shops.
Then I'm gonna go back to the tavern, to the Troll Manor, to help Cosmo fix it up, by lifting stuff for him, I guess.
Okay, so I believe at this moment we can kind of hand wipe that you guys all kind of arrive at the same time, and fictionally Rebecca would be with you guys because she was with Ponder, but you guys still haven't seen Thurman and Enzo quite yet because they are still kind of dealing with the Drow assassin mission that they went on.
Oh, Yagra. Okay, I'm looking back.
Hello, friends. I met a really nice person.
Did you let him in?
Yeah, he looked all around. He told me he's a carpenter over at the Bent Nail.
Did you follow him to make sure you saw everything?
100%. I was very curious.
What was his name?
Tally.
Tally.
Don't
who?
worry, the Bent Nail is just
damn
a
it!
name.
Does he work in a store near us?
Yeah, the Bent Nail.
We'll keep an eye on him.
Don't worry about him. He's a very nice guy. He said it's gonna be quite a lot of money, 1,000 gold for renovations that we need.
Is that if we buy supplies from him or in general?
Just to work, I think. I'm not sure. Didn't ask too many questions. I did ask him if he was gonna make us a cool sign. Thought that was important.
Everyone needs a good sign.
Yeah. How are people gonna know how cool we are? Give me a sign.
Oh, and here's Enzo. I think your guys' friend Critter would come up and he was like,
Yeah, listening to what he was saying about the woodwork, I can't seem to disagree with anything he said. This place needs a little bit of fixing up. And if it were up to me, of course, we could just make it all out of, bugs wax and the things we would make our hive out of underground. But, I know that human beings don't find that to be quite tasteful.
But to mechanically answer kind of that question, the estimate he gave you guys is pretty accurate to how much it would cost to completely renovate the tavern and get it back to working order. But now that we have Enzo back in black here, Enzo, we've had a few things happen, just mostly roleplay stuff. It turns out you guys have a business rival right next door, so that's good. He's trying to start a tavern himself. Ponder met a talking horse and got some information from the talking horse about Zentarum agents, and he's going to need to report that information back to Amelia Haventree, so that you guys can get some funding for this dusk tree situation that you've got going on. Yeah, and Cosmos met your next-door neighbor, Tally, the carpenter, who gave you the price of what it's going to be to fix your guys' tavern. So a little stuff has happened. So with all of this information, should we skip over to what Enzo and I guess I can kind of play with Thurman right now. Oh, Cosmos can. Okay, perfect. I was like, did you guys hear anything of what I just said? So let's pop over to real quick so we can get kind of everybody back together. Enzo, you and Thurman were kind of in a situation where you had to fight with this drow. I can't hear anyone speaking.
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
I can hear Caleb.
there we go. Now I can hear everybody. That was weird.
Okay.
I was wondering
Hello.
why you kept talking over everybody.
Yeah.
You guys were just like, whoa, that Caleb guy's a huge dick. No, I couldn't hear. I was like, what is going on? No one is saying anything. Your bubbles weren't even lighting up.
I was asking about what happened with me and Thurman a few times, and you just kept talking over me. And then, well, let's say what happened with Enzo and Thurman. I was like, okay, well, fuck.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I don't know what just caused that. So, Slick, you wanted to ask something about Maxine?
Oh no, I was just gonna ask Ponder where he met the horse.
Yeah, so he was asking me his questions about how weird it is that a horse talks, but I think that was resolved, right?
Okay, that's resolved. So, can we flash over to Enzo and Thurman here? Okay, so Enzo, right as you guys were getting into the fight with this guy, he cast this giant impenetrable globe of darkness
right onto Thurman and right onto your owl familiar, and then started bolting. Just started running away immediately.
Okay, so I'm guessing we cannot take on this guy, even though we already got some very hefty blows on him. And he's out of range, so witch bolt dissipated.
Correct.
So what I do is I'll just have Dr. Who fly way up into the air and just track him, see where he goes.
Okay, so Dr. Hoot flies up.
Dr. Hoot is quite fast, very stealthy, and he has advantage on sight and hearing perception check.
Yeah, so Dr. Hoot flies up out of the globe of darkness, and can you have him make a perception check?
Yeah.
To kind of see exactly where he's at.
Okay. Perception. There you go.
And it should have, 19. So he's able to track the gunslinger as the gunslinger is running down the path. Now, are you going to look through Dr. Hoot's eyes?
Yeah. I'll just. The thing is, I'm not able to follow Dr. Hoot too far, but as long as I can, I want to see. But if he gets out of my vision range, where I just go back into Enzo, I'll just have him follow him, see where he goes, and then he can come back to me and then guide us to wherever he went.
Okay. So that's kind of what happens, because you guys, Enzo, you can see that Thurman is just completely turned around inside this globe of darkness. He's trying to find his way out, and you just hear him smashing into trash cans, running into boxes, that type of thing. Because you guys have all been in that situation when you're in a completely lit room, and then the lights completely turn off, and you lose all sense of direction.
Yeah, I'll just say, Thurman, over here, follow my voice.
Yeah, and he would probably just walk out towards you, and that situation that you described where you're trying to look through Dr. Hoot's eyes, and you have to come back to your body, and the owl follows the gunslinger. And as you are following the gunslinger, can you make a stealth check with Dr. Hoot?
Yeah.
It's probably the best name ever for an owl.
Yeah, I'm so proud of that name. I'm guessing if he was bolting, without looking back, he wouldn't be very perceptive of who was following him 100 feet up in the air.
So essentially this would be trying to beat his passive perception, which I'm giving you this a check at advantage because you're high up and it's an owl at night, which even for a drow elf is going to be hard to see. So a 14 beats his passive perception. So the owl is able to follow him. And so at a later time, you'll probably be able to. So you
I'll just wait for Dr. Hoot. Let's say Dr. Hoot knows my modus operandi, and he would just scout to see where he goes, go around wherever he goes in to see if he gets out, and if he stays there for a long period of time, he just comes back to me, ready to tell me how to go there.
Okay, so of course this was originally Thurman's mission, but you guys interact with this half-elf that was nearly murdered. What do you say to him?
Okay, he was drunk as fuck, and he seemed to have no clue what was going on. So what's his state now?
Very confused. He seems to have sobered up a little bit with the action, bolts of fire, crossbows, magic being cast. It seems to have brought him out of his stupor a little bit.
Okay, I'll just to ask him, "Hey, buddy, what's your name?"
He looks to you and he says, "What's it matter what my name is? I almost just got nicked."
Yeah, but you're a human being. Well, sorry, you're a creature. What? I don't know what the way to say it in this world, but you are a creature who deserves to be spoken at by name and not by, "Hey, you elf boy."
He looks to you and he says, "The name is Heldar."
Heldar, like Heldar.
He says, "That's exactly right."
Okay, Heldar. I'll just type that in chat to keep it. Okay, Heldar, do you have any clue why that guy might have been trying to end your breathing?
He says, "Well, I'm not too sure. I've heard the rumors of elves and half-elves being murdered here in the city, but I didn't really hold too much weight to it. I'm quite happy that you were able to save me. Listen, I'm just a sailor here for really the night. I'm going to be back on a boat, and I'm going to be out of here before tomorrow. I don't even know what to think."
Okay, do you know... wait, I'm sorry, this is out of character. We knew something about someone saying going to the boat. That was the drow, right?
Going to the boats?
Go to the ship, something like that. Fuck it, I'm going to the ship. He said something like that, right? The drow. I'm pretty sure.
And yes.
Okay.
And
just to...
that's the direction that Dr. Hoot is currently following him in. Because you guys are in the dock ward currently.
Yeah, okay, so I'll tell him, okay, do you know anyone from the city?
Only my fellow crewmates.
Any other elven or half-elven creatures?
Most of the other crew are human, and a couple of half-elves, but no full-blooded elves on the ship.
Okay. So I'll turn to Thurman. I'm guessing this is just a victim just because he's half-elf. He probably doesn't have any useful information. I say he's no use to us beyond this.
Thurman would probably just give you a quick nod and say, "It's time to move on."
Yeah, I'll just turn to the half-elf and tell him, go back. If you want to come back with us, it's no problem, but make sure you hide away for the night. If you're leaving tomorrow.
I'll take it as a blessing that I'm still alive. I'll head back to the tavern, and I won't piss in any more alleys.
That's a quite wise choice, my friend. Okay, so let's just say me and Thurman escort him just for safety back to the tavern and just part ways with him.
Okay, yeah, no problem. You guys escort him back to the Mule Skull Tavern and part ways. Now, do you guys tell your quest givers exactly the information you found out?
The only information we know is that a red-ass drow is trying to kill him, but he was shooting him down, and these guys were being killed by decapitation. Do we know if these bodies who were decapitated had bullet wounds on them also, or?
Well, the only problem is you guys don't know how powerful these guns are, as the drow gunslinger didn't actually get a shot off on you guys to see what kind of stopping power these bullets may have. Did you want to do a body investigation?
Yeah. So I'm guessing you usually notice if a head was cut off or blown off from the rest of the body. Well, I'm guessing, right? It would be a pretty noticeable difference.
Yeah.
Correct. It sounds like you're wanting to go do some like CSI. Like, whoa, can we tell if the guy that was there was doing the killing?
Yeah, I want to do some an autopsy.
Okay. Do you get the rest of the party with you, or do you go on your own?
If the rest of the party is busy, I'm fine with that. I'm guessing Thurman and probably Rebecca should come with me. At least. If everyone else wants to come, I'm fine with it. But I think we are the three most important ones for this task at hand.
I'm trying to look at the...
Yeah. Given Thurman has the connections and me and Rebecca have the dissecting knowledge.
The intelligence? Yes. So, and of course both their players aren't here right now. And I love that Jay just posted, "Hey, I'm trotting here!" That's awesome.
I'm reading here.
I have...
So let's just say we all go to this, or next morning maybe, because I don't know how this would be managed. Where do bodies get stored? Is there a morgue at this time, or?
You would know this. In the city of Waterdeep, let me, I'm going to drag everyone to the city of Waterdeep map.
We built this city.
Which section is the Troll Skull Alley in?
It is in the North Ward. And let me do this real quick. This will make it a lot easier to find.
Oh, here we go.
So that's Troll Skull Alley. It's right on...
Okay, wait, hold up. I need to unzoom. Okay, where?
Let me shift
Oh,
it.
there, I see it. Okay, yeah. I saw it.
That is really far away from us.
From the dock.
From the dock ward, yes. This is a huge city. This should be...
There's a Batman vigilante in this town.
Yes. So you guys would know that most corpses and that type of thing are taken to the city of the dead to be prepared for entombment, burial, all of that type of stuff.
Okay, so we will probably just waltz in there and ask to see the dead body.
It doesn't go over well. They say, are you a member? Well, it sounds like Enzo wants to go and check out these bodies, but unfortunately enough, you guys aren't, clerics of Kellenvor or members of the City Watch. Someone that would have, jurisdiction to view these type of things. You guys are just kind of people off the street. So initially...
Does Posh Boy have the contact?
Posh Boy?
Rainier never?
Yeah, the rogue redhead. What was his name?
Rainier?
Son of the rich guy who stole all the money. Yeah, that's Posh Boy for me.
He could possibly get you guys in.
Would he? Okay, is this the kind of favors we want to ask him? I mean, at no point we've seen one of these dead bodies, these decapitated dead bodies. We haven't seen them. We've just been told of them.
Why am I worried about decapitated dead bodies? Probably
Decapitation.
just fixing it in.
Okay. Can I just like ask the dude, who's ever telling us to fuck off from the place, to tell him we're looking into the half elf and elven murders, and we were wondering if the nature of the decapitation was because of a bludgeoning blow, like a gun, or because of or there will be more of a piercing or exploding blow, but never mind, or a slashing of the head.
He would look.
Would you be able to provide us that information?
He would look to you and he says, I unfortunately enough can't indulge any information about that. You see, I'm a clerk here in the City of the Dead, and I can't just allow people to go in and see the bodies. You don't know what people are going to do. You have, cultists of Baal, Bane, and Merkel running around trying to do all kinds of necromantic acts. Like, I know that you are giving me a good story, but I just never know what people are going to try to do. And then he kind of gives you a sly look. Go ahead.
Couldn't you just walk with me to see the bodies, watch over me inspecting it to make sure I don't do any funny business?
He looks at you, he's like, well, if you're here on official business, you should be able to just show me your badge, and I'll be able to let you back.
I like Enzo size.
He says, did you forget it at home?
Yeah, I don't usually carry around in this city a badge saying I'm a cop, kill me, But okay.
He looks to you and he says, that's quite a strange opinion to have, no criminals in the city are going to move against the city watch openly. He points to the sky. He says, the city watch has griffin riders. If you fuck with them, you're going to get hell rained on you from the sky.
Yeah, but have you ever dug into something that has to do with the Senator? Don't tell me how to do my job, kid. Turn around and walk away.
He's like, okay. Come back with your badge.
He just flips the bird from behind his back and keeps walking.
And do you head?
Any other suggestions?
Yeah. What does the party think?
I'm still confused as why I went there.
We wanted to see if their heads were blown off or cut off.
Why do I care about
the
that?
elves and half elves?
Why do I care about elves and half elves?
I think they probably have not enough security to guard their entire perimeter, though.
Yeah,
They'll
that's what I was
back them
thinking.
later.
We could probably just sneak in there at some point.
I mean, I have a friend that could probably get us in.
Oh, you made friends with the head of the guards, didn't you?
One of them.
Does somebody need Lathander's last rites? Anything like that?
Just say you want to do some thunder bullshit. Maybe they'll let us.
But I don't want to see dead bodies.
Okay, I'll just will you take us to the bodies, but you don't have to look. Me and Rebecca can do all the looking and all the touching.
But I don't know why I care.
Okay, you don't care why innocent people are getting killed?
I don't know if they're innocent.
Damn.
Oh, so they're just guilty by default.
I don't know.
Or they're guilty of being half-elves. That's the way you are, Cosmos. I really think that of you.
I mean, I don't know them.
That's messed up, man.
Sounds like a job for city guard. I think they have it, guys.
Okay, so why did you come with us to kill some Senator guys? That would be also a job for the city guard. And you came with us and you try to kill one.
We were saving
even
a
if you'll try
guy.
to
We
deny
got
it.
the quest from Volo. I don't know where this. Why are we investigating this?
This is, I'm guessing it's common knowledge to the party that this is part of Thurman's quests.
Yeah, I don't know how
This
much
is
the
out of
party is like.
character.
told
Everyone
each
knows
other
that.
about these
As
individual
Thurman told
things.
us, yeah, I've never heard anything. I know because I know as a person, but not because my character does.
Yeah, I don't know if Thurman shared any of this with anybody.
He's
Then
been
why
very
did
Maybe
I
you could
go with him?
go
I'm guessing we know that
try and convince
we
the other party
we
members.
all knew we had the mission to see what was happening to the half-elf.
No, that was just you.
No, that was just you.
Yeah,
When we first got, like, we each had an individual thing. Like, I've never even done the next step on my individual thing. I think several of us kind of.
I never got to do the first step. I never got to talk to Durnan.
Okay, I was just working on the grounds that we all knew this. Given I went with Thurman to do this, I'm guessing he told us because I wouldn't know if he hadn't told us. You know?
I don't know what
At
happened.
no
last
point
session
he
if
came and
asked
told
you.
it to me specifically.
I think when we were breaking apart as a group to go, everyone go do things.
I'm just sitting here quietly listening to you all.
I believe kind of everyone had their set to what they wanted to do, and then Thurman was able to kind of ask Enzo, because it seems your guys' what would you say, ideals kind of matched up in that way?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I missed part of the last session. You remember? Because I had some issues with my internet.
Yes, and that's kind of how it.
That might be why.
Yes, I think it's just the two
Okay,
of you.
so let's just say we can probably get a big reward from doing this. As handsome a reward as we got from the other tasks. So, from handing off
who is it for?
Baldy. It's for Thurman's friend.
I didn't know Thurman had friends other than us.
Are you jealous?
No. I just want to meet these friends.
I think
You've already met them.
Thurman would say something along the lines of, "Yeah, you guys have met these guys." Go ahead, Enzo.
Remember the orc lady that offered to pay us for killing people we didn't know the first day we were here?
Yagra.
In
That's
the
terrible.
tavern? Well, but I don't know. The money was nice. I got some new spells.
Has
Okay,
Jay told us about his
so-
endeavors? Other than meeting a talking horse? Did you share with us anything that you found out?
I think you guys weren't back, actually. So the others know, but you two were not. If I followed correctly, were not back, or did that happen afterward?
I don't know the order of events. I know I was. I'm Cosmos.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We can say that Ponder, Freak, and Cosmos, you guys have all been at the manor for a second, and Rebecca. It's hard because Rebecca and Thurman aren't here. That you guys have shared that information with each other, and that Enzo and Thurman walk in, kind of a little, maybe shell shocked, a little worse for wear, because they had just been into a fight.
Okay, so let's just say we went out. I just tell him we went out to find out who was killing this elven people, and it
And you
seems
said,
that it's another elf.
The half-orc friend told you this?
The half elf, like the half
Half-orc?
orc from the
Yawning Portal.
the
I
portal.
remember.
Yeah, her.
And I just look at
Well,
Ponder and be
her-
like, hey, I guess we know who knows those guys now.
Okay, so I was thinking they didn't allow us to, given this guy was taking shots at people rather than slicing them up, it would be interesting to see if these elves, they were decapitated, right? So it would be interesting to see if their heads were blown off or cut off to see if it was this guy's doing.
I'm
And
not trying to
we
get
went there
involved
and
with
we
that
weren't
lady.
allowed in. What?
I don't want to work for that lady.
Why?
Ponder told me some things.
I'm sensing
Ponder,
here
what
that-
did I tell you about messing with people's minds?
Sensing here that we may be getting involved in the middle of some disputes that, well, we're just not quite sure which side we want to be on. We've got two gangs fighting, and I don't know if I really want to join either one of those. And then, our friend Rainier, who's been quite helpful, and I think, shares a lot of the values that brought us all together.
Yeah, he don't like gangs.
Yeah, I think he's maybe opposed to potentially both of these, and I sort of see myself leaning in that same direction.
Critter would
Sure.
walk up and say, "This is quite an interesting discussion. Please, everyone continue, and at the end I will kind of weigh in on how I feel."
I
Okay,
just
go ahead and
question,
weigh in
like,
now, since you've... Yeah.
Well, where I'm from, they have this saying, and I don't know if you share this on the surface, but it's good to keep your allies close. You want to stay close to your allies back, but in uncertain times like these, maybe it is good to keep your enemies closer yet, so that you know about their actions and activities, even if your actions don't align.
I know one thing. As long as I'm not killing someone who is innocent from either side, I don't care who's dying. If you guys have a preference, I don't give a shit for which side I fight for. I don't mind going to the one you prefer. I just want the money and to make sure no one innocent dies.
I think Critter has a good point, and this mission to investigate these murders doesn't really involve us harming anyone innocent. We're mostly just gathering information. Of course, as you found out earlier, you may need to defend yourselves along the way, but I think it could be useful to gain some of the gang's trust by continuing to investigate.
So you're
FYI,
saying
as
we
we're
become the
discussing this,
boss
I'm using
and
my
then
arcane recovery.
disperse it. I like it.
That's what I think. What does... Freak, you seem to have been quite quiet in this.
I continue chewing my chicken leg. I finish eating it, and I just look at everyone. It really doesn't matter. We go with the flow.
Well, I have a
Go where
few
the money is.
matters to attend to with some of our other missions regarding the Shadow
Duskwood Tree?
mission and a few other things. But I think it would make sense to try to get into the City of the Dead again. Perhaps their facilities are not well secured and could sneak in, or some of us could sneak in.
I'd like to ask a question. Just like as an afterthought, like to ask them, how do they get rid of the smell?
Of the dead bodies?
Like, I'm just thinking out loud. It's a big building, and they have to get rid of the smell somehow. Is there an opening we can use that way?
It's like the prevailing winds off the coast would have a westerly wind. Probably why it's on the east side of the city.
Everyone kind of like shrugs their shoulders at that question, because no one, is a undertaker or a cleric of Kellenvor that would have that information. And
Can I just explain, like, in character moment?
Yeah.
When I was in the forest and the big game hunters wanted to hide their kills, they would always bury them deep below, but they would always leave one vent open so that the smell doesn't stay in and ruin the meat for later. Is the same apply to the Undertaker buildings? Is there an opening we can use to sneak in? Again, I'm just trying to do the whole like crime movie cliche.
Your friend Critter would say, I can do a quick check of the tunnels to see if there's a tunnel in, but I would guess that sounds correct. Are you guys going to do a... And you see him kind of look to the camera. A heist?
God, where's the heist music when you need it? We will Ocean 11 this stuff.
Yeah, let's do some grave robbing.
No. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
No.
Too far.
We don't rob Drake.
Nothing's too far for Enzo.
Who's the smallest among us?
Critter?
Yeah, I think he would probably be the smallest. Going through the air vents, indeed. Yeah, and as you guys are talking, kind of figuring out the logistics, Enzo, I agree. This is when Dr. Hoot would flap back, and he would start to send you, these telepathic messages, kind of to communicate back and forth with you about what he saw. And what you would see is his image from, top down as he watched the drow run through the dock ward until it got itself to a set of 3 ships. And on the ships, you see him hop over the ledge and kind of quickly check around and make its way down into the belly of the ship. And as Dr. Hoot, looks at the ship, it would catch the name of the ship. And you see that written across the side in brazen letters is the name Hellraiser.
Okay, good to know.
Well,
Okay.
so that's where you would have saw the drow escape to.
Yeah. Yeah, great. I'm guessing this. I'll just keep this to myself for a while. I see no use of bringing it up now.
Yes.
I just go into a trance as my bird comes back to me and stop talking.
And, yes, Cosmos. Francis Strickland is the guard captain that you are thinking of. I have him under my named NPCs folder here.
So, we have
if we
two
don't have
ways
to
we can...
sneak, yeah, we could go talk to my friend. He seemed pretty important.
Yeah, we can do that one or the other. I'm guessing we're just... no matter who we're doing the mission for, if we are just seeing who's murdering people and cutting off their heads or blowing off their heads on the street, I don't see why the guards would have much of a problem in giving us a small hand, especially if Cosmos has made friends with one of them.
Yeah. I don't know where he
Okay,
lives.
so...
I got his card.
Oh, okay, I know where he lives. Okay, so let's walk... Is this still, like, nighttime, or...?
So, this had moved on to the second day of the calendar here. You're on the 2nd of Deep Winter, and this is starting to get deep into night, like close to midnight. So it's very late at night right now.
Okay, so let's say first thing in the morning we go to Cosmo's friend's house.
Yeah. Off we go.
Okay,
where are we going?
To bed and to the guard's house.
Oh yeah, we need to go to bed. Sorry.
Okay, so does
Okay, so we just do that.
so you guys get a long rest. The sun starts to rise, and it is now the third day of deep winter. Very cold. The wind is blowing through the streets. It's a cold day here in Waterdeep, and it sounds like you guys have a plan of going to see Francis Strickland. And yes, we are still level 2.
Yeah, let's go see my friend. I look at his card. Does it have any information on it?
No, it just says go.
Fuck you.
No, no, it doesn't. It doesn't say go fuck you. It says his home is in the C Ward, and his house is at the corner of Diamond Street and the Street of Whispers. And I can shift ping you guys to exactly where that is.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So you,
So it's
Walking we will go. Oh, sorry.
it's pretty much a straight walk. Yeah.
yeah, right. Taking Delzoran Street, you're able to get there quite quickly. And I want to say, as you guys arrive, it does that situational comedy thing of he's closing his door. He's starting to walk out in his guard uniform, and everyone approaches him.
Hi, friend.
Hello.
It's Cosmos. I didn't expect to see you all here outside my home. What can I do for you?
We're trying to see some dead bodies to learn how they died, to help some friends.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I should.
That could have
explain
been
the situation.
phrased better.
He looks to you and he says, "Well, that's why do you need to see these dead bodies? I'm quite confused by this."
We're investigating.
Okay.
We're what?
Okay, sir. I just walk up in front of the guy and say, like, "Sir, excuse me. We're investigating into the deaths of these elven
very rude.
and half-elven people who've been cut down in the streets and have their heads separated from their bodies. And in our investigation, we were wondering of the nature of the decapitation. So we were wondering if we could just do a quick look to see how these people were put to death, so we could find out if our suspicions of who did it are right, and maybe put a stop to it."
You see him quickly pull out a small book, and you see him, and he's fingering through the book, and you can see that this is a code legal. And he looks to you and he says, "Well, what you're doing is not exactly illegal when I check against the code legal, but be careful, because you are starting to approach upon illegal actions. So I will help you with this, but please don't make a habit of trying to do the work of a city watchman or city guardsman."
Told you it was their job.
And he says, "Come with me." And you guys do a montage of walking to the city of the dead.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Does everyone else here know? Have they read the what happens when we do this kind of things in the city? Do we have that pamphlet?
I believe you guys do.
Yeah, I think I already do.
Oh.
That's the code legal.
Okay, crimes against the city.
What would what would we do that was close to illegal?
Impersonating an official?
Under what clause? We didn't say we were impersonating.
Yes, you did.
What did we say?
If this guy doesn't know shit, and I just gave it along as a joke, I didn't impersonate an official. So,
Officer?
but this guy doesn't know shit, so he wouldn't.
Officer, I did not tell that man that I was an officer of the law. That definitely did not happen.
I said I left
Wait,
my
which
badge
rule?
at home. I didn't
Wait,
say what kind of badge.
Wait, what's that under? I'm just trying to find it.
It's in your handouts.
Yeah, under what?
The code legal in additional Waterdeep handouts.
Okay, is it crimes against citizens or the city?
Crimes against lords, officials, and nobles. And I guess it could be hampering justice. That's what's it called? That's usually when they're like, "You're obstructing justice."
Wait a minute, I'm just finding something a little odd here. Why does it say using magic to influence a lord without consent?
Because a lord may ask you to cast magic on him.
Hey, what happens in the bedroom stays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Still, it's an odd loophole.
Correct.
Okay, so we just walk. Let's say we walk back into this the City of Dead, and I just put my hood on. Try to make as little notice of myself as possible.
And you notice that the clerk working is a different clerk. They seem to be on a different shift. You know, he must be the night shift clerk. And your friend Francis would show his city watchguard badge and say that he wants to look at these bodies, and they take you to the morgue.
Okay, great.
And Francis says, "Well, this appears to be," and you can see the bodies of the three the three elves are kind of laid out on slabs. And you can see that their bodies are in relatively good position. Good condition, minus the fact that they don't have a head.
Okay. The head was. Is there a clean cut or just a mess of stuff that got blown off?
As you guys go to investigate this, you're doing kind of an autopsy. So I think this is the perfect time to make a medicine check.
I'm guessing.
For all of us,
one
or
question:
Rebecca?
can you look at Rebecca? Yeah, I think Rebecca's the best at this.
So this would be one medicine check, but a character can do it with advantage
Yeah, I'll give her a hand.
if one person does. We'll use Jay's there. Jay got an 18.
I think he died of cirrhosis. With advantage.
Yeah. So Jay, Ponder is able to tell everyone. Somehow he's like, these heads have been like if someone attached a black powder, smoke powder bomb to them, blown off their heads. This wasn't the work of a blade. This wasn't the work of like an axe. This was something that carried an explosive concussive force to it.
Okay. Do we get any extra information for the bodies or just this?
You can tell they're.
Let's do.
What exactly are you looking for?
They're elves, yeah. Like any tattoos, anything they have in common, like a full autopsy of all three bodies.
They are all sun elves. Yes.
Okay.
And
That's interesting.
based on the information you have about who conducted this assassination, or who you think made the assassination, you would guess this. Drow hate elves among more than anyone else. And you know that sun elves are a particular... They hate them even more than normal.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I believe we've gathered the information we came for. So, if anyone has, and unless anyone has any objections, I see our business here is done, so we should move on. Is everyone okay with this? Anyone want to do anything else?
Well, there's nothing else we can do.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you have some interests in these dead bodies beyond investigation.
Well,
here to judge.
I would smell them to try to see if I can get anything off them, but I have a -1 in investigation.
Smelling would be
Okay,
perception.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, fine. Let's see. Let's see what happens. See?
So, freak, you go to take
Smells
a
like dead body.
you go to take a
If I
deep.
pass out right now, I will hit you, and I'll find you to do it.
Do
Two
I?
natural ones.
So you go to take a big old sniff of the bodies, and you don't really find that much. That they're dead. They've been preserved. Yeah, you're not gonna go get a lot about that.
Can I smell anything on the wound itself, or is it just a basic knife kind of stroke?
You smell the lingering smell of like brimstone, kind of like what you would smell in almost like a volcanic type activity, but you're not sure.
Yeah, as he's smelling the dead bodies, I'll walk up to Thurman and tell him what I know about the Drow's location and stuff like that.
And I think he would tell you, Enzo, that you guys should probably just report all this information back to Yagra and Davil to get your due rewards for this.
Yeah, I agree.
So it seems like you guys have that part kind of wrapped up. Like it's clear that this guy got his head blown off with the tool the drow was using. And
Question: are guns really rare? Like at this point, like have we ever seen a gun?
none of you would have seen a gun before.
Okay. Do we know what a gun is?
You only know what it is because that drow was pointing one of them at you, and you could kind of guess that this was the weapon he was using.
Okay. So we know pointy thing that kills people, blow heads off. Okay.
Correct. And who was using it, so that kind of gives you a clue. So you guys are going to be able to go and talk to them in just a moment. So it sounds like Jay is going to go talk to Lady Haventree. Cosmos and Slixick, do you guys have plans for what your characters are going to be doing in this moment?
I'd probably go with him.
Okay. So you're heading there with Jay and Slixick?
I don't want to do Thurman's quest with them.
That makes sense. Okay, so let's do that real quick. So Ponder and Cosmos, you head to Lady Haventree.
Can you show us where on the map that is?
Yes. So Lady Haventree is going to be in the castle ward, and let's put her house, because it's really not well defined. Let's put her house right at the corner of Sword Street and Fedlock Courts. So let me shift ping there. And let me put a little shape there so we remember. So yeah, you guys arrive at her home. And you're allowed in. The butler recognizes you, and you're taken to her parlor. And what do you say?
Hello, Lady Haventree.
Hi.
We have. I was able to speak with Maxine, and she told me about 2 agents or operatives that she had discovered, and we were able to follow up on that, get a little more information. The operatives are a sun elf and a half orc serving as bodyguard, and they're looking for spies to spy on the Xanathars, right?
That's correct.
To spy on the Xanathars. They're also investigating some mysterious murders of sun elves, and we've just come from looking into that a little bit more.
Really? It's quite the interesting plot. I wouldn't expect the Zentarum to really care that much about it. And you say a sun elf and a half-orc bodyguard. You wouldn't happen to know their names, would you?
I believe the half-orc is Yagra Stonefist. And do we actually know the name of the sun elf?
You do.
I can't see. It is not it. Yes, it is. David Starsong. The sun elf is David Starsong.
And just to correct your notes,
Devil Stars.
All right.
it's Davil. So Davil.
Davil.
Yes.
My notes are copied from your notes.
So that was probably my fault.
Okay. So Davil Starsong.
So that'll probably need to be me going back and fixing that when we do the recap.
Okay.
And she looks to you and she says, "Quite interesting. I did not realize they were members of the Zentarum." And she takes a look to you and she says, "I think there has been a breaking off or a branching of the Zentarum in the city. For them to ask you about murders, that's not usually a Zentarum investigation. They're the ones doing the murdering. I know this is going to pain you here, Ponder. I think your group, as varied and with different interests, I hope this doesn't sound like I'm trying to spread you too thin, but I think the more information your group is able to gather, the better, especially when it comes to this."
All right. Well, I believe we can continue investigating. And as to the other matter that we discussed, are we prepared to move forward?
Of course. Yes. And she hands you a dossier. And as you read through the dossier, it gives you the complete information on the last per paper supplier and how you would go about setting up connections with that.
And a big fat line of credit.
Exactly, on how to get that rolling into the city. So Duskwood would no longer have to be the main source for the city to use to build its spell scrolls, spell books, and that type of thing.
Thank you, Lady Heaventree. We will get to work immediately.
And she says, "Now, don't be a stranger. When you find out new information about these Zentarum, please tell me more. This isn't their normal modus operandi. There's something happening here." And she kind of turns and starts to look quizzically out the window.
Hi, what was your name, ma'am?
She looks to you and she says, "Remelia Haventree. Nice to meet you." And
Nice to meet you.
she bows and she says, "And yours?"
I'm Cosmos. And
Well-
I just want you to have this. And I give her a pamphlet.
And she says, "Ooh, the Morning Lord." And as you look at her, you can see that she doesn't look like she's seen the sun in a long time. Cosmos, can you make a perception check?
Oh.
Can I help him?
Perception's broken. There's no way.
Can I
Four
help him?
ones in a row?
No, wait. No, what are the odds? Well, hold up.
Cosmos, you think that the window... This lady needs a new window. For some reason, you don't think there's light coming through.
Is there anyone else there with Cosmo?
Ponder.
In 160,000.
Ponder. Ponder, help a brother out.
What, perception?
Yeah.
Please let it be.
Oh, come on.
Not so good.
So, Ponder, as you look at Cosmos, who seems to be looking at the window, you can see, even with a 9, there's no light actually coming through the window. You know how if you were to stand in front of a window with the curtains drawn, you would have light coming through the glass. There's no natural light coming through the glass. All of the light coming into this parlor is being shown through the candles that are lit in the parlor.
You should seek out Lathander. Looks like you need it.
And she says, I have found men to prefer a woman with alabaster skin. And she just gives you a big smile.
He blushes very hard.
Can we see her? Can they see her teeth when she smiles?
No, she just smiles a normal human smile.
Okay, ma'am.
And as you guys walk away, she says, remember, be careful out there. You never know who's going to invite you in. And what?
Come on.
And what their intentions are going to be. And you guys leave.
That's fine.
Before we leave, I just want to ask her if she has any other leads we should look into when we're investigating the farm.
She says, currently, I'm afraid I don't have any for you. I really just needed the information from Maxine, but when I have more jobs for you to do, I will seek you out. You might be my best agent in the city when all is said and done with. And as you guys finish up this mission, I wanted to do something on your sheet really quick here, Ponder. And everyone can do this. Can you guys see on your character sheet how, like on Ponder's, he has second wind, action surge, and then he has his total arrows? It's a resource. So I'm going to put here Harper renown. Except I misspelled it. So you have one Harper renown. From completing this quest, you now have that as a tool that you can spend or save to use in situations where you need a favor.
Does it like give it automatically, or is it like an advantage roll, or how does that work?
You can just, whenever you are going to interact or you have something in the city that you need to do, you're like, shit, I don't know how I'm going to do this. You can use your renown as a way to either gain an advantage, or can this person just solve this problem for me? It's all in the fictional positioning of how you want to play it. So we'll say that creativity is your only limit here with how you want to spend your renown. And obviously, the more renown you have to spend, the more impact it has when you spend it.
I'm sorry, guys. I missed all of that last part because I was having an argument. So.
Oh, I was explaining Ponder how the Harper renown works, because he is now a harp pin carrying member of the Harpers.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Before we do anything else, can I quickly go see Maxine and give her some gum?
Yes. 100%.
Just
I'm going.
pick some up at a corner kiosk or something.
Yes, and you can pick it up really anywhere. And you can find, no need to roleplay out the you buying gum. Oh, that'll be 2 copper pieces, sir. What about 1 copper piece? What do you think? I'm made out of money here? It's fucking 2 copper pieces, you son of a bitch. No, we don't have to do that, even though I just did. So, you find Maxine. And you can see her there. She's still at that same jewelry store, just kind of, and you can see she's chewing on a piece of grass, trying to follow as much of your recommendations as she possibly can.
Morning, Maxine. Picked this up for you. Hope you like the flavor. It's spearmint.
She spits out the grass. I've heard people talk shit about wheatgrass before, but you know what? Every single one of them was right. Give me that fucking gum.
Here, so I give it.
And you pop it into her mouth, and she immediately just starts chewing on this gum. And she's like, "This is quite delicious." Who's your friend there?
Hi.
This is Cosmos.
Nice to meet you, Cosmos. The name's Maxine. Are you a member, or are you just a looky-loo?
He's one of our party. He doesn't have a pin or anything, but we're working together.
And I hand the horse a pamphlet.
The horse would say to you, they don't let me into churches.
Oh, really? That's a shame.
I don't fit in the bathrooms.
Oh.
Hold up.
I'm
is this
gonna
a
make an
horse,
animal
like,
church.
This 100% horse?
Yeah, this is a horse.
Am I there with them?
Like, why would you hand him a pamphlet? How would he take it?
I don't know. It talks.
You're questioning this now? Not when I was asking these questions?
Maybe you tuck it into Maxine's saddlebag. She takes it with her mouth and puts it into somewhere. It's all good.
Okay,
I'm gonna
but
make
again,
an
am
animal
I there
church.
with them?
Don't worry, ma'am.
You're gonna make an animal church.
Sounds like it's a need.
Me and all the other awakened animals in the city would definitely like that.
Awakened?
Please.
I'm awakened.
No, please ask more. Please ask more.
Why can you talk?
Thank you.
Is
Well-
it Lathander?
I wish it was Lathander. It was some crazy fucking wizard, I'll tell you that.
Ooh, wizards can be crazy.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. You see, I was eating grass. I can remember this. I was still just a young foal when this wizard came into it was a crazy stupor, and he just started casting spells at me, at plants, until the plants were talking, the chickens
Sure,
were
plants
talking.
that can talk. Now we definitely have to have a church.
And now there's me.
I'm there with them, right?
We can say that you're there.
Is the horse allowed into bars?
That's up to the bar.
Well, I'm gonna just
Usually.
meta knowledge here, but they could, but horses can't drink. So I don't know how that would work.
Magic horse? With a straw, maybe?
Okay, in any case, I'm just looking at the horse. Do you know if the wizard is still alive?
Maxine shrugs her shoulders, which is something you've never seen a horse do, ever, and looks to you and says, "I lost track of the wizard after he cast the spell on all of us." Now, she's becoming Australian. Maxine will just say, "I have no idea where this wizard is. I'm sorry. Since coming to the city, I've just worked for the Harpers and just tried to keep my head low."
I want a talking wolf.
Well,
Thank you, horse.
I was gonna say maybe you guys could And we'll have to retcon me saying wizard to crazy bard, not a wizard, crazy bard. Because the awakened spell is actually not on the wizard class list. Excuse me.
Wait, there's an actual spell for that?
Yes.
I was just thinking this was a part of a story thing, but okay.
Yes, it is the spell Awaken. Awaken, awaken, awaken. So, you guys give the horse some gum. She chews the gum. She seems to be happy.
Wait a minute. Why is the last part says only for 30 days?
It's charmed by you for 30 days. So that means it's friendly to you magically. After the charm condition ends,
It can walk away.
it can walk away if you guys were dicks to it. If you were not dicks to it, then it will be friendly.
Jesus, that's one hell of an expensive spell. How the hell did the bard just toss it around?
For what?
Awaken. It's
I'm
an
looking at the requirements.
Oh well, we don't have to worry about all that. We didn't do it. Now we have cool animal friends.
And I
That's-
just had a really twisted thought of accidentally bringing our manor to life.
With a troll head?
No. The troll head's already technically alive. I'm just thinking you cast a spell on a manor and it gains sentience, so we have something like Hogwarts and stuff.
it wouldn't work. It has to
I
be
know, but it's a twisted thought.
a smaller beast or plant. Unless you completely knock down your house and turn it and get a mimic to be your house.
Wait a minute, how big a plant?
Huge or smaller?
And huge is what, building sized?
Huge is, if you guys are 5 by 5 cubes, huge is 15 by 15.
Anyone remember the tree outside the Addams family house?
Yeah.
Would that make a good home security system?
Like the Whomping Willow from Harry Potter, definitely.
Alright, just an idea on the back burner. Because I remember the image you put of the troll manor has like a big tree outside of it.
Yeah, that would be a definite candidate for a awakened spell.
Opening up my notes section and leaving a reminder for myself to research awaken spell.
There we go. So yeah, you guys kind of complete talking to Maxine, and now Ponder, you have the dossier for how to get the supply of Lasper paper and trees into the city.
So we go back to.
So are you gonna head back to Troll Skull to talk to Fala Lafleur and to Rachel, or what do you plan to do?
I think she's agreed yesterday to give me some time, so a couple weeks, I think, so, or 10 days. So I think I've got time before I need to update her. I think Rainier, who seemed to be pretty on board with sort of managing this and just wanted capital and connections from Lady Haventry, would be the next to go back to.
Okay, so you guys go to Rainier's house?
That's fine with me.
Okay. And if I remember correctly, Enzo and Thurman, fictionally, were separated from you guys, and they're heading to the Yawning Portal.
Yeah.
So let's so we just did your guys' storyline, so let's pop over there to Enzo and Thurman. So Enzo, you walk into the Yawning Portal with Thurman by your side, and you see kind of at the normal spot Yagra and Davil sitting there at the corner.
So we'll just walk up. Okay, so I'm guessing Thurman would take the lead. So.
Yeah, he would. But since he is here, you can of course just kind of take the lead as Thurman is being the kind of the standoffish, strong and silent type at this moment.
Okay, so I'll say, hello, friends, and we just sit down at the table.
And
I'm guessing it's Davil and Yagura.
correct. And Davil would say, so, do you have information for me about the killings?
Yes, I do actually. You mentioned that all you knew it was elves or half elves, and they were being decapitated. I believe we have 3 things to tell you: the means of decapitation, the nature of the people doing the decapitation, and the current location of.
Can you talk louder or something?
Oh, I'm sorry. I put my phone a bit too far away. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I heard you. And Davil will say to you, well, we're all ears here. As you can see, and he points to his own ears, I'm quite invested in this fact. I would like to know who's killing my kind, so I can avoid a similar fate if possible.
Wait, quick question. Before we do this, when I smelled the corpses and there was a smoke of lava on their necks, does that mean the weapon is made of some kind of lava stone, or?
You were getting brimstone, which might be a ingredient in the powder that was being used to fire upon these creatures.
Is that important, or?
It could be, but currently the freak is not in the conversation.
Yeah, but they were there with
One
me when I
question.
smelled it, so.
Rick, would you have told us you smelled this? That's my question.
I mean, I assumed I implied that I did since I investigated the corpse.
Okay, yeah. Can I roll to see if I would deduce that him smelling this, I would know this could be used for powder, that it has something to do with explosions, so maybe I can connect it to
Okay,
dots?
yeah. Okay, fine, that makes sense. I could tell him what I smelled, but none of us could actually link it to weapon production. Okay.
Arcana,
We
please.
don't know what this is, but I could know that it would be made to make stuff blow up, maybe. Arcana?
Yes, please.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, that's not the lowest score.
Yeah, you would know that brimstone is used in a lot of different alchemical reactions, one of them being creating fires and explosions.
All right, I guess that helps.
Okay, so I'll just tell Zavel. It seems that the person who was targeting these half-elven people, these were exclusively Sun Elf, mind you. It was a drow.
A drow.
And, yes, a drow. And this drow had a very eccentric weapon. It seems like a small piece of equipment, smaller than an arm, that could somehow, I don't know, hurt people from a distance. And it seems it was powerful enough to blow their heads off in an instant.
You see Davil pull out his violin, and he says, or his lute, I should say. And he says, don't be alarmed. This will give us the information we need. And you see him start to play his lute, and he casts a spell. And he casts the spell.
My memories?
He casts the spell Legend Lore.
Okay.
So it takes him about 10 minutes to cast. And he says, the object that you describe is a Lantanese pistol. It seems that this type of weaponry is only found in the land of Lantan. It's a firearm using powder to project metal balls through the air, like a cannon, but of course handheld. We're dealing with quite the enemy. You said it was a drow.
Red drow.
A red drow.
He seemed like to have been choosing his targets. One question: was the elf we saved also a sun elf?
Yes, he was a half sun elf, essentially.
Yes. Okay. So he seems to pick his targets randomly, except for the fact that there are half sun elves. But no matter which the elf, they seem to have no connection to any doing of any kind. And I can tell you where he ran off after our encounter. He went to a ship. I can guide you to the ship. Or you can see where it is, actually, because you're reading my fucking mind.
He isn't necessarily reading your mind. Legend lore.
With quotes. Yeah.
Yes, and he says, so where did he go?
I'll tell him, what was the name of the ship?
Where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did he go?
Hellraiser.
He sought refuge in the Hellraiser ship in the docks. And I'll tell him which part of the docks, right?
Correct. And he kind of gains a very confused look on his face. And he says, your information I don't discount. It's just I am confused. That ship name and where it's docked are in the possession of a circus. The ringmaster, a man named Captain Zardoz. Quite eccentric, if I do say so myself.
Okay. So, what's your plan moving forward?
Well, if it is a drow, being caught red-handed and being found out, I assume he will go into hiding. Because if we could find him today, or last night, we could find them again.
Is Davil also a son elf? Yeah, right.
Correct. So he has kind of a personal.
This is fucking personal.
Yes. The drow, as dangerous as they are often quite afraid of, being brought out into the light. So I doubt we'll see him openly killing like this again. But I would be on the lookout if I were you. Perhaps he will try to strike out at you or your own.
Okay. Do you have no interests in seeing what's inside this ship? Like, maybe he's still hiding out in there. He was not aware he was being followed. By no means.
Dabble will look to you and say, this sounds like a mission that perhaps your group could handle.
Meeting with Captain Zardoz. And seeing if he is aware of his stowaway. Or if he is in fact a stowaway at all. I just have been to the circus. I don't really know the man very well myself.
Okay. Okay. I looked at Thurman, and we say we'll consider it. We'll get back to you. It seems like this man had firepower. Well, yeah, it had firepower that could very much take us out in one shot. So it's definitely a dangerous endeavor if we go into this.
Yes, it sounds like you're quite lucky to be alive. Now, tell me, were you able to save the potential victim?
Yes, actually. He was, as I said, half Sunel, and his name was Haldor. He was working. He's just a sailor. He was leaving today. Maybe if you rush, you can find him. But what the information we gathered from him, he seemed to be just another half son of, with no further connections to the city.
Davo will nod his head, and he looks to Yagra, and Yagra will slide a small bag of coins over to you and Thurman, and you guys open the coin bag, and each of you gain 50 gold coins.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's say we walk away and go back to the tavern.
To the tavern? Okay, perfect. So,
Did no one catch my reference?
to what?
Well, did you see what I wrote to the side?
The lament configuration, I have no clue what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either.
Really? You never saw Hellraiser the movie?
Nope, I have not seen that one.
Oh,
I've never heard of it, actually.
it was the pale guy with all the neat nails in his head.
Yeah, I think this is the ship is not indeed a reference.
I know. I was trying to make a joke, but since no one saw
Yeah,
the movie, it was
Yeah,
the
I'm
lament
sorry.
configuration was the name of the puzzle box they used to summon him.
Oh.
Well, hey, this gives me more references to make later. So, you guys leave the tavern a little bit richer. Thurman leaves with a renowned point to use for the Zentarum, and it sounds like the other 3 party members are heading for Rainier Neverember's house. Is that correct? It sounded like Cosmos, Ponder, and Freak were heading in that direction.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
Oh my God. Well.
What is happening?
What?
What did I miss?
A lot. Are you okay, Rebecca?
Yeah, I just, I tried to pull an all-nighter, and my body was very
Rolled
not
one.
ready for an all-nighter.
Okay, I can see where this is going.
Oh no. Well, I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're okay. I was like, man, because if you had missed a session, I would assume you would have reached out or something. But I'm glad to hear you're okay.
Yeah, no.
I thought he did.
No. I only missed what I missed because I'm a big dumb.
Well, okay. You've missed about almost 2.5 hours worth of stuff.
Oh shit, sis, god damn it. Alright.
Well, Ponder's dead.
What?
We met a talking horse.
That one's real. We can catch you up. Mostly you tagged along with me, I think.
It's true.
Is she still with our little group?
Yeah, we can say that Rebecca was with Ponder, Freak, and Cosmos really this whole time.
We tried breaking the law. The law won.
See?
We made some progress on this Duskwood thing, so we're going back to Rainier to get all the
There are
operations in
plans in the
motion.
works to make a home security system, but that's later down the line.
So, mechanically, what's happened? They have finished the Zentarum Alliance mission number 1, which was Thurman's mission. So let me just mark that completed. Exactly. They've completed the Harper mission #1. So now our friend Ponder is now a harp pin carrying member of the Harpers, which is good. Which gained him a couple of new things. #1, Remelia is now a friend, Remelia Haventry, who's like the sexy pale lady.
We all failed a perception check on.
Yes. Exactly what that means, you'll have to see. And like they said, you guys now have a talking horse as a as a new contact. Just a new friend. I
am now obsessed with finding that spell.
Yes. It has been discovered that the drow that Enzo and Thurman were fighting in the previous session was using firearms to decapitate his victims, and that he fled from the scene of the crime to a boat that's been docked in harbor called the Hellraiser, which is a part of a trio of ships that operates as a circus.
I tried making a movie reference joke that flew over people's heads.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know the Hellraiser movie that well. I apologize for that.
It's okay.
So we've got the Harper and the Zentara mission done, and it looks like you guys are on your way to Rainier Neverember's house to show him the dossier from Remelia Haventry, showing her supply lines of Lasper trees, and to kind of show how we can solve the rest of the problems.
So basically good progress today.
Oh, yes. Oh, and one other thing. Cosmo discovered exactly how much money it would cost to fix your guys' beat-up, broken-down mansion. Which would be 1,000 gold.
And I say we can make that slightly less if we bring our own supplies.
Ponder can do a lot of the work.
One question. I don't know, would this be like a much bigger investment? But maybe, given the nature of our group, we'd like to keep stuff hidden. So maybe we could also add like a safe room to the place. I don't know how much more of an investment that would be, but I think it would be a good idea.
And I think Rebecca wanted a soundproof a laboratory.
I'm
I don't
guessing
know if
those
one room for each would be accessible economically.
It depends on how things go down the line, but it's not impossible. It would just be difficult to do it all without the official construction workers noticing it.
That's a good question. Ponder, Rebecca, you still there, or did you fall asleep with your headphones on?
He did.
Oh my god, we were joking.
All right.
I was not this bad when I had my all-nighters, but okay.
Hey, different strokes for different folks, so hopefully we'll be able to get Rebecca back here before the session ends.
Yeah. If anything, my body overcompensated. It went into like hyperdrive.
Okay, so you guys arrive at Rainier's
she's
home.
alive. She's alive, okay.
Okay. Yeah, are you talking? Because we can't hear you, Rebecca. Yeah, this has happened to like everybody at one point or not today.
Well, wait, really? When did it happen to me?
Do we have time to do this Rainier thing, and then I'll meet up back at the tavern, or at the manor?
Yes, we do. We have time to do that, and then we can come back for ethics.
No, we still can't hear you. Did you go into settings and check exactly what's connected?
Oh yeah, someone had to default to the wrong output.
mine-
Maybe it's going to the wrong
yeah.
input.
Yeah, because I have 2 headphones, and if I plug the wrong one in, it kind of gets mixed up.
Not even that. Discord just said "fuck you" and started trying to go through my monitor randomly.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, I had like 3 different Discord audios in my volume mixer. They were all on different devices.
who's
Actually,
eating?
I still have 3 different Discords.
Rebecca, can you hear? Type something if you can hear.
We're all just waiting on the edges of our seat here for.
Disconnecting is not there. He's gonna have to go to settings in Discord and change it.
Can you hear?
Hello?
Yeah, we go.
I was very frightened for a moment.
She's alive!
Terrible things are happening. So many terrible, terrible things.
One giant step at a time.
Okay, so it sounds like we are going to do our Rainier scene, and then we're going to do our party kind of comes together and kind of talks about exactly how they want to do their ethics and how they want to operate as a group.
Okay, I'll be right back. Given Enzo's not there, it's cool if I miss the Rainier thing.
Okay, nope.
And if I just once more, so that I understand, because I did literally wake up moments ago. We are handing Rainier a dossier
Yeah,
that
from
has
Media
to do with fucking something. Okay.
Paper. The last spare paper that's gonna
Right. We're
replace
dealing
the,
with the
dustwood.
wood thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this should be like a real quick thing, I imagine.
I am just gonna go plug my computer in.
Go get some coffee, man.
Go get some cocaine.
I don't. Actually, that's a horrifying thought. Everyone's inside now. Wonder how the drug trade is doing.
Fucking great.
Does Silk Road still exist? It's probably doing really well.
No, I thought they took down that website a while ago.
I'll ask my wife.
Doesn't matter.
She's a cybersecurity expert. She would know.
I mean, most people can get it delivered now, so.
Oh, that's just... Wait, for what?
I don't
mean-
get it. One of my guys that works for me or works with me, he gets his delivered from Colorado.
What does he list them under for charges? I
He
mean-
orders specific goods from places.
All right,
They come with extra materials.
all right. I mean, still, how do you hide the charges, though?
No one knows.
It's a
I mean, it's
legitimate
not like
business.
it's. I just want to see that conversation on credit card goes.
You can
Grocery
find
store.
subreddits that'll give you tutorials. Do you
All right, fine,
really
whatever.
wanna
I can't
investigate
complain.
that?
I can't complain. I order CBD oil online, so
That's completely legal in
Most states. Yeah, so you guys arrive at Rainier's home. You know, Alfred lets you guys in, and you see Rainier there. He's playing chess on 3 different chessboards against his young ward, who appears to be a kind of a young, attractive teenage boy, as they are playing chess in 3 dimensions against each other.
you're really pushing the Batman angle, aren't you?
I was thinking the Woody Allen angle.
Oh, damn!
Now I want to see 3-dimensional chess.
Wouldn't it be well, 3-dimensional chess is the one they use in Star Trek, so if anything, the weirder one is when you have 3-person chess.
It's just chess on 3 different boards, so they're playing 3 games simultaneously. And Rainier would say, "Oh, my friends, this is my young ward, Jason Teed."
You
God
bastard.
damn it.
But tell me, what news do you have of our trade deal and of the city?
Well, Lady Heaventree provided us with all of her contacts for the trade aspect, and then this letter for a line of credit. And I believe you said you had some contacts, and can we just sort of plug this into your existing network, or you need us to do anything sort of on the ground?
He takes the dossier and he says, I can start getting this ran through. You know, with mine and Remilia's influence, we can definitely stop the cutting down of duskwood trees and create a network of protection for the woods. This is a great this is a great thing that you guys are doing for the city and for nature itself. And he kind of taps you on the chest with the dossier. He kind of like rolls it up. He's like, you're quite the man, Ponder. Glad to have you aboard. And he kind of winks at you. He says,
I appreciate that, remember. I have one other matter. You see, we've come into possession of quite an opportunity, the Troll Skull Manor, and we are in the process of renovating it, restore it to its former glory as a tavern. And I wanted to see if you'd be interested in helping us with some startup capital to do that. I think we could structure it as a loan if you like.
you see Rainier sigh and say, unfortunately enough, I don't have the kind of liquid capital to do something like that, but I do have a friend that could, and he owes me a favor, so hopefully he would be willing to give you the money without too much lip. You might have to do him a favor, but I think he would be more than willing to help you out.
I am really not into politics. You guys do a lot of favors. How do you keep track of all this? Is there some sort of ledger?
Why do you think, as a leader, I don't say anything?
Rainier would look to y'all and he says, my friend Mert would be able to help you with this. Absolutely. I might be able to give you a little money, but all of mine is wrapped up in investments and things exactly like this. He holds up the dossier, where I can keep myself comfortable living, but I can't make giant splurges like this. And since I've just adopted young Jason here, I can't go about just spending my money willy-nilly.
Well, that's understandable, and you know, I assume we'll see some royalties rolling in from this venture shortly.
Of course.
The other question I had, Lady Heaventree has asked us to investigate some of the activities of the Zentarum. Do you have any leads we might follow up on?
It's funny you mention that. I don't know if you remember this, but we captured a goblin spy from the Xanathar Guild together. And he had a lot of interesting information for me. From what he has told me, the Zentarum is split in the city. There's two groups. There seems to be a group operating much like we would suspect. Violence, intimidation, protection rackets. But then there's another who seems to be more acting like a vigilante group and combating evil deeds. It's quite strange.
Rebecca's head kind of perks up, and she kind of mutters, and how exactly did you come across this, how did you extract this information, I should ask?
Well, you see, goblins don't have the strongest of wills, and when you put them into a zone of truth spell, it seems that the information just comes rolling out.
Immediate sigh of relief.
Yes. You see, we know that torture only gives you the quickest answer that's going to end the pain. It's not going to give you the truest answer. When you can give someone something to live for, hope, especially when they're coming from an organization that's dominated by a crime lord. You give them something that they want to live for, something where they want to tell the truth, and that's what we try to do.
Like Critter.
And he looks to you, he says, exactly like Critter. How's the old boy doing?
Oh, he's crazy. Tunneling, making stuff. He's doing great. You will love it.
Flash cut to Critter. Critter right now is in the basement, and he's got his some bug wax, and you see that he's got these links of string, and he's making bracelets. And on these little pieces of bug wax, he's inscribing letters onto them, and you can see that they're being spelled out into everyone's names.
He's just making friendship bracelets.
He's a nice little fella.
He's like, oh, I can't wait till they get home to see these. And Rainier would say, yes, it seems that before this gang war started, according to this goblin that we've captured, there was actually an alliance between the Xanathar and this fractured Zentarum group. But it ended violently, and he doesn't know exactly how. So I'll have to keep digging through my sources, or hopefully we can capture another member that might be able to tell us more.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. November. We will be needing some of that return as quickly as you're able to send it over to us at the Troll School Manor. I guess we're calling it Critter's Grand Brewery now, to get up and running. This is still in service of our goals that we talked about previously. When you can send those over, we'll appreciate it.
Of course. And of course it'll take a while for the royalties and the money to roll in from this investment in the trees. But if you're needing gold as quickly as possible, and he slides over a piece of parchment, and it says, Mert the Moneylender. He's a friend, and I know his name sounds quite, what's the word, shady, but trust me, he's a good guy.
Maybe he just needs the light of the thunder if he's in the shade.
That's true, Cosmos. Well, if there's nothing else I can help you with, I will get started on this on my end with Ramilia and I's help. It shouldn't take any time to get the last part paper rolling into the city so we can protect the Deskwood.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I love Rebecca. This campaign easy. I should take more naps.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, so I guess we all head back to the tavern.
It sounds that way.
All right, Rebecca, it's your time
The
to shine.
whole way there, I'm just gonna pout.
So, everyone, as you're traveling, Freak, you're with the group, correct?
Yeah.
Freak, can you make a perception check?
Okay. Oh, boy.
Freak, you notice that as you guys are heading back to the manor from Rainier's flat, there's someone tailing you guys. It doesn't look like they are immediately threatening, but they're doing a very good job of hiding themselves. It's just thanks to, that supernatural barbarian instinct that you have that you're even able to even pick them up out of the crowd.
Is there any way I can, hint to the group that we're being followed, or do I keep this quiet?
That's up to you.
Who's the most perceptive among us? Well, I know Rebecca's probably looking at me because she doesn't like me.
Oh yeah, I'm just kind of glaring at you out of the corner of my eyes.
Okay, so I grunt and slightly nudge my head behind me, hoping she gets the signal.
Rebecca is mad. She's not an idiot, so she does just kind of glance in that direction and then kind of start to get an understanding, and then she just nods.
And I nod back.
Yeah.
So we keep walking. Hopefully we check before we enter the manor that if he's still being followed.
Yeah, almost all the way to the manor you guys are being followed. And you guys can all see, maybe you guys all share the information with your other party members, that the person following you is kind of wrapped from head to toe in a cloth bandage, and they are wearing a kind of a tall overcoat, and they're wearing very thick red tinted glasses that you can't see through.
Okay.
Maybe it's
Out of character theory,
We're listening.
he's turned this into actual Batman in D&D, and we are now being tailed by the Red.
By the red.
Who?
We're being tailed by the Red Hood.
It could be. And Cosmos, what were you saying?
nothing.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something, but okay.
Smart.
So,
Steady fellow.
so you guys were being followed. He seems to stop as you guys walk into your house, and he kind of lets you guys go in, and you see him recede into the shadows. So you guys are all in the manor here. You guys are all present. It seems like this is the time for the therapy session.
Yeah, we're all here actually. Besides Thurman.
I guess I find the biggest chair, I sit down, and I put down my new Morning Star right on the table.
Becca goes into one of the corners of the room and just starts reading.
I'm guessing me and Thurman were already there.
Correct.
Is this one of those things where we have to like sense that Rebecca is upset and ask why?
Oh, she's totally doing a woman thing right now, where you have to read her mind.
That's right. That's fucking right. I'm playing my character, motherfucker.
Let's all roll insight. Let's all roll insight.
Everyone rolls below a 10 on their insight. Nobody knows what the fuck is wrong with Rebecca.
Guys, since you're a man trying to read a woman's mind, you have to roll at double disadvantage. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, so far Cosmo has the highest chance of being right.
So, I think you guys notice, you know...
Never mind, Ponder.
Oh, Ponder 100% gets it. Like Cosmos has a hunch. Enzo and Freak can tell she's mad. But Ponder, man, they're on the same wavelength.
Ms. Verity, is there something we should talk about?
Yes, I suppose there is, Mr. Buffet. Assuming, of course, that they're willing to talk at all.
Who?
I have to switch to more appropriate music.
I need
Wait,
to
really?
lower...
Is that Inuyasha?
I gotta lower the volume on that thing, because I cannot even hear my party members.
Okay, I cast sleep.
That's not the music I would use.
Who the fuck are you casting sleep on?
On you, bitch.
Roll initiative, motherfucker.
Hold on. If we're gonna do a proper... Hold on.
This just felt appropriate, because, you know, this is a very dramatic scene. You know, there's a lot of motion. And when I think of that, I just think of all the times as a kid I watched Inuyasha. And I was like, get back to the demon killing and stop all this emotional stuff.
Oh, see, the emotional stuff was the part I actually liked when I was watching Nuyasha.
Oh yeah,
I
but
thought their friggin' demon fights were super unimpressive and cheesy.
I agree now looking back. But
I would have played something from JoJo.
this is me shrugging my shoulders, but you can't see it. So let's go back to the scene now that we've switched the music. So Rebecca, you stand up. The spotlight's down onto you, and you can now have your soliloquy.
Wait, we have a spotlight?
Oh god, why the fuck am I on the spot? Okay, I've been awake for 20 minutes and counting, and I guess I'm leading a scene. Here we go. So I guess Rebecca pulls up a chair and sort of clears her throat. Now, far be it from me, gentlemen, to assert myself as any ethical authority, but quite frankly, some of the things this group has been doing, especially to its prisoners, I'm not okay with it. And I know that I'm not alone in that sentiment.
Critter would appear from the root cellar and say,
Rebecca, I can sense this is an emotional, vulnerable time. Please continue to share with us.
God damn it.
This
Thank
will
you
not
so much
end
for your
well.
support. Perhaps, we welcome you and we're so glad to have you. However, some of these issues that we may be discussing might pertain to things that happened before you joined with us, and perhaps a few of us might feel a little more comfortable if you don't mind granting us just a few moments of privacy.
Oh, sorry about that. By the way, guys, I made you all friendship bracelets.
as he closes the root cellar.
Oh, that's
Thanks,
very
Critter.
sweet of you.
So please continue, everyone.
Look, I'm all for this whole maddening.
Question: how do I? Nothing. Never mind.
I'm all for, gallivanting around, bending and breaking laws and the like, but I have my limit, and I am not going to continue adventuring with a group of people that is going to take part in actions that I truly believe are of an evil nature.
Hola.
So as Rebecca says this, what does because it sounded like when we were having this discussion that Cosmos and Ponder kind of felt in a similar way. How does Slick and Enzo respond to this message?
I'm sorry. For some reason, I couldn't hear anyone, so I had to come back on. I didn't hear anything. Sorry.
Oh, Becca just gave an ultimatum.
If you could summarize.
Yeah. Basically, she, in a very dramatic fashion, because of course, said that she's probably gonna leave the party if they keep doing evil stuff, especially to their prisoner.
Well, what evil stuff did we do?
Well, first off, there's been torture, including more recently owl torture.
Is that a
Second,
problem?
there's been murder, as in like bashing things faces in after those things have surrendered. Just
Oh yeah, that's
kind of evil shit.
Okay, I think the torture is non-negotiable. But
When you
I
say
give you the.
I agree that the
non-negotiable,
torture is non-negotiable.
I mean, I'm not willing to stop torturing people.
Yeah, and I'm not willing to stand by and watch.
Like, I mean, I haven't tortured innocent people.
It's not about whether the people you're doing it to are innocent, Enzo.
Enzo looks confused, like he has no clue what she's talking about.
Let me ask this. Is there anything that Rebecca could say to Enzo that would convince him that her point of view is something to go after?
I mean, there's no way she can convince him that what he did is wrong, but he can, from a strategic point of view, stop doing it because he values Rebecca's aid more than the usefulness of torturing.
I mean, yeah, that is basically what she's pitching for at the end of the day. She's not really trying to convince everybody that it's wrong. She's just saying that she thinks it's wrong, and she's probably gonna leave if it keeps happening.
Enzo, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Why is it that you felt the need to torture?
I don't have any torture. I mean, since I'm going to do it sometimes because it's useful to get information, I will do it and I will enjoy it in my way. Keep in mind, as some of you may know, I didn't grow up in a city or anything. I grew up alone with my mentor, and he taught me how to do stuff to get what I have to get from it and to enjoy what I do. If
Well-
I'm not doing anything wrong to someone who is good, I'm not doing anything wrong.
Well, if it's a sense of practicality, then you still shouldn't be torturing people. As Rainier said, it's not even the most effective manner of getting proper information.
It is if you take account the time you invest in it.
Well, Enzo, I can see where you're coming from, and I can't deny there's some, at least sometimes, some utility in that. However, tend to agree with something we heard earlier from Mr. Neverember when we visited him, that often the answers you get from torturing are not particularly truthful or helpful. You're just being told whatever the subject believes will end the pain the quickest. And as to utility, which is more valuable to you? The information you can gain from torturing, or the help of the rest of us?
Of course, in these circumstances, your aid is much more valuable to me than whatever desperate words some idiot can tell me to grasp to the edge of his life.
I feel like at this moment, you guys all look at each other and you kind of reach a level of understanding. Like, hey, the help of the group and, our collective friendship can be more important than, the ways that we get this information, and we can find a way to coexist. That's kind of what it sounded like to me.
I mean, I by no means think what I have done is wrong in any way, shape, or form. But
Can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Mr. Zanaripia, your mentor, where is he now?
Fuck if I know. For all I know, he's dead. And I have to do my best to do what I'm supposed to do and replace him.
I think perhaps I understand your situation a little better than you give me credit for, Mr. Zenrid.
Yeah, you guys kind of get, visions of maybe young Enzo learning with his mentor, and maybe it was like he described, it was just how to get things done in the most efficient way possible, maybe ignoring morals at a certain point.
I've always been told that the greater good is the only good that matters. And I will stand by that until the day my heart stops beating. But I can see the use of being with people who are of use to me and whom I enjoy being with. So if you tell me to stop those kind of actions, I'm willing to do that. But I cannot go much further than that. I will not change who I am or what I believe.
And we wouldn't expect it of you.
It sounds like we have maybe not all the same beliefs, but we have enough mutual respect that we're able to proceed in a way that everyone is comfortable with. And Enzo, I can only say that for myself, I hope that eventually we change your mind, but I understand that you have your convictions, and as long as we're all willing to agree to operate in a way everyone's okay with, we'll respect your convictions.
I feel like that was a beautiful scene, like everyone is kind of coming together. We learned a little bit about Enzo's backstory. I feel like that just draws us a little bit closer together. And Cosmos, you pull out your pamphlet of Lathander and start sharing that information. Slick. Oh, or excuse me, Rebecca, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we do still need to talk about the murders.
I was about to say, Slick, part of her addressing the party was kind of aimed at you. How do you respond, and what do you say in response?
Okay, first, I look up from polishing my big stick. Then I look around the room, register what's happening, recall the question and said, we were in combat. There was an enemy. There was an enemy to the pack. In the pack, you never leave an enemy alive. They can just come back to kill you later.
So why is there one in our basement right now?
He was not an enemy to the pack. He joined our pack. He's now part of it.
I have a question for you as well, Mr. Freak.
Okay, I'm listening.
How long has it been since you've had a pack?
Many moons.
What happened to the old one?
Died of age. Kept them safely for a long time.
I don't know if I believe that, Mr. Freak.
What is there to believe? I was found as a child. Pack found me. Pack trained me. I protect Pack. Pack passed away from old age. I move on.
Well, Mr. Freak, as a person who has traveled far too long without a pack myself, I can tell you that it is infinitely more helpful to me and to the pack to make a new friend than a new enemy. That is why I am of the opposite belief. I spare every life I can, absolutely every single one. Because if there is a chance, even chance, that the person that we are sparing could come back to aid us, then killing them would have been a waste.
We also need to take into account, though, playing kind of a middleman in this argument. That someone who is willing to kill you and surrenders in hope just to save his own life may very well come back to kill you later.
Is he doing this in character, or is he just saying this to us?
In character.
Okay, then I add on to what you said. I nod in agreement. Pack once made that mistake. It was an enemy to the pack. Leader kept the enemy alive because he did not see him as a threat. Many moons passed. The enemy returned, his injury indicating who he was. He attacked the rest of the pack. We lost many that day. I took revenge for them.
On the other hand, though, we need to also take into account how much loyalty can nobody in a guild as is the Stenithar have to just come back to smite us after. And the
There
fact
are other
that
options than letting them go and killing them.
yes, and also decisions when we are in a pack should never be made unilaterally, unless it's time is of the essence. But if someone is underneath begging for mercy, that person is not a threat at the exact time.
I can tell we're not going to find entirely common ground, but Mr. Xanaripia, yes, I agree that when a person is at our mercy, they are not a threat.
So, Freak, is there anything that the party could say that can sway you to, if someone asks for mercy, not killing them, in a fight, maybe knocking them unconscious or sparing them? Or is it you can't be convinced?
I look up from breathing fire on my big stick. I can only promise not to kill them from now on. I cannot be held accountable if they die from past injuries. I will keep them alive, though.
I do believe it is a situation that should be handled case by case, and we should not face every person who hands themselves to our mercy in the same way as the previous or the next. But we should all make the decision together. We're going to live as a pack.
I agree.
And then just for emphasis, though, I lift my big stick and put it on my shoulders. I will, however, say that if the enemy is beyond redemption, even by your standards, they will not be captured alive. And we can all agree that there's just some things that are universally frowned upon.
Maybe just before executing anyone who's surrendering, in the moment.
I can accept that. If they don't choose to surrender, then they don't fall under the mercy.
On that, I can agree.
If they don't surrender, then it's a fair fight.
I think everyone can agree to that.
Okay, out of character moment, why has no one questioned me keep saying big stick?
Because it's you.
I love it. So yeah, it sounds like
I named my new weapon the big stick just to make a Roosevelt joke.
Oh, I caught it day one. I even pointed it out. I talked about how much more softly you're walking.
When? I just made the new weapon today.
Yes, but you've been making references for weeks.
Fine.
So it sounds like this group talk has been successful. It's like everyone is more or less on the same page, and it seems like the characters are a little bit more connected, kind of looking deeper into the past of Enzo and Freak, where they both have limited what's it called?
Human interaction.
I was gonna say you maybe limited father figure or limited interaction with someone that maybe is going to mentor them in a all the way.
Oh no, my
moral.
character technically did have a father figure.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Freak had the whole shebang. They just did shit differently.
You realize when I say pack, I mean pack of animals, right?
Oh
Yeah.
Yes, we do realize that.
Okay, just making sure.
If I can be an attention whore for a minute here.
You weren't before?
No. Rebecca actually is going to kind of try to pull Freak aside for a little sideline. If I could have a moment, just a quick word, Mr. Freak.
Okay. I walk up to Cosmos. I want to speak something with Cosmos afterwards.
Oh dang it! Why did you change your icon? No, change it back.
Wait, what?
Well, the dungeon master changed its icon. I can see where this is going.
Oh fuck! No.
What?
No.
What I can change?
Don't worry.
All right, fine. Let's do the talk, Rebecca.
Do you want me to just DM you what she's saying?
I feel like we should roleplay it out in the open if you feel comfortable with that.
All right. The reason I have been pushing this is because I did mention my own pack before. My family. They tried to surrender, and they were given no such quarter. And they were killed, in many cases without a chance to defend themselves. Now, their situation was different. They did not attack, but I still do not wish to become the exact sort of monster that put me in the position I'm in now. And I appreciate your willingness to meet us part way.
I nod in understanding. Although I have to say something. Just so you know, we are all monsters of our own making.
Of course.
I'm not done. I used to live a normal life just like you. I had a mother, a town, and a clergyman who taught me things. But then, our village was attacked. They tried giving us the same mercy. I was the only one who survived. But they tried begging. Next time, I made a sorry, something in my throat. I made a promise to make sure things like that never exist again, if I had the chance. I will say, however, that my actions were hasty before, but I won't hesitate the next time someone threatens us. If they don't plead for mercy, they will not see another light of day.
I would ask for nothing less, Mr. Freak. And Rebecca extends a hand to try and shake his.
Okay, I shake it. Okay, we shake hands.
Yep, there we go.
Okay.
That's been done.
God damn it. No, is Critter watching us or are you just commenting on the side?
Uh,
Uh,
Critter's been watching this whole time.
Oh, of course he is.
Okay, we shake hands. Okay, just out of
Oh,
out of character
I
moment.
thought he had left.
Okay, out of character moment. He does not know what we did to his brother, right?
No, he does not.
Yes, he does.
He knows you guys killed him. He knows you killed him, but he thought it was you guys were in the throes of battle.
Wait, what did
Okay.
you say?
You were in the throes of battle, so it was like you guys were fighting and.
That's right. I remember the lies that we told him.
Oh, damn it.
So he didn't hear any of this because he trusts you guys. But he came back up, to hand everyone their friendship bracelet.
Are you trying to make us feel bad, Caleb?
Trying.
He's succeeding.
That's why I'm playing this sad Inuyasha music. I felt like it was perfect. So he comes
Wait,
out.
Okay, can I wait for him to leave?
So he hands everybody the bracelets, and he says, I'm going to head back downstairs, everybody. I've got some more things that I'm working on. I can't wait to produce my first critter brew. It's going to be delicious. I've already found the honey and the moss that I want to use. And he skitters downstairs and heads back into the latch.
I turn to Rebecca. We ever gonna bring this up to him?
I feel that might be a discussion for another day, Mr. Freak.
It's a yes or no question. Do we keep him this quiet, or do we let him live in ignorance?
I'm afraid maybe if this may come back to bite us in the ass. Maybe we should be open.
Rebecca, you have a choice. You can sit him down and tell him the truth of what happened, and that his murder was in the heat of the moment. Or you can ease him into it and say that he was lost in combat. Do not imply we were responsible for it directly. As a creature of nature, he will understand that certain things happen in combat that can't be controlled.
We've already said that.
Why is this suddenly my responsibility?
Yeah, I would say this should be a Freak.
Shit. Yeah.
Because he trusts you more than me.
I think he trusts us all 100% though, but...
Rebecca just kind of nods
and I raise
actually.
my brow at that comment. Like,
Yeah.
Seriously, really, he trusts me?
I understand. I'll take care of it. Before I do go down there and talk to him, though, I do want to real quickly say I still have that mission revolving around protecting the city schlickers.
Yep.
If any of you would help me with that sometime today, preferably, that would be very much appreciated.
I'll help.
Okay.
Everyone can help with that.
I would like to maybe go by myself anyway, but I would like to see if the halfling family are still in their home. Like, this is 1 or 2 days. Like, if they're taking shit out or stuff like that, or are they 100% gone and never to be found again?
So it sounds like the party is about to do another almost another split, where some of the party is going to go with Rebecca to do her mission from the Lord's Alliance. We can say, to kind of save time, that you guys have finished up the paper problems mission. I think that's pretty safe to say. What do you guys think?
What mission?
The paper problem, where you guys have solved the issue of the Shadow Dusk paper. Would you?
We've gotta have him where I tell follow, right?
Yeah, essentially that would be the only thing left. Would be you guys go over and tell her that, yo, this is the shit. It's done. So that would be the next step for that mission. So it sounds like you guys got 2 things left in that aspect. Lord's Alliance. And, yeah. So I imagine, who's going to go with Rebecca, and then I imagine Ponder, you would go and take care of the paper problem stuff?
I'll
Yeah,
go
I'm
with
gonna
Rebecca.
have to step away, so I may or may not be back to do that.
Oh, I was going to quickly pull us to a close here, because...
Okay.
Yes, because we've been playing for quite a long time today, and I don't want you guys to get burnt out by the end of the session.
Oh man, so burnt out.
To be fair, one of us
dude.
is half awake.
Oh, you be quiet, you little minx.
Let's just hope the recording comes out well.
Yes. Because she's a girl? A grill?
A grill. Oh, buddy, I gave up on trying to sound like a grill a while ago.
Smile for me, babe. What you looking at there? That kind of grill, or a
punch to the face,
or an actual grill?
Or a slap you upside the head, cast fucking witch bolt at you kind of grill, more like.
There we go. So it looks like we got a lot of things to do next session. Then we've got the mission to take care of with Rebecca. We're going to take care of the paper problems. This is the start of the 3rd day, so it's relatively early in the morning. And there may be some other people that are trying to contend for your attention, because it sounds like if you want that 1,000 gold piece loan, you're going to have to go speak to Mert, the moneylender. So before we close the session down for today, questions, comments, closing statements, anything like that from everybody?
How much experience do we get out of all of this?
We are doing milestone, so
I would think that us being this, I think our bonding moment would count as a milestone. No.
That's right. And we level up from having team bond.
I was wondering if I could go to like an alchemy shop to sell like the geyser head and the choker tentacles and shit like that. But whenever we can do it next session.
Yeah, you know exactly where to do that. That would be at the Schema Weird Bottles Concoctions. Would be the place to sell those type of thing. And Rebecca, to answer your question, I definitely want us to roleplay out in the open Rebecca's talk with Critter, because I feel like that's going to be a heartstring pulling type thing. What do you guys think?
As long as you have better music.
As long as I have better. I thought those was pretty appropriate, but if you guys,
we should actually roleplay that in dead silence.
And then the Lion King music plays.
Oh god damn it!
Of course. So
sad one where the petals float in the wind.
So
no, we should play entirely inappropriate music.
Which would be what?
Insane Clown Posse?
Just
heavy metal.
We Are Number One, or fucking.
Technically saying that song actually fits our group when you think about it.
That. No.
Well, okay, so it sounds like we got a lot of threads to pull on next time. I'm going to try to get everything put into the recap. I'm going to watch the video and see exactly how it looks. It should look pretty good because I got all of the settings correct. Kind of excited.
Oh, I never saw where the link to these videos is going. Is that
he's still trying to figure it out.
Oh, so the last one I put up had no one's voices but beyond my own on it. So I was like, oh. That's
fun listening to, by the way.
That's not helpful at all. So this one should actually have everyone else's voices on there, which is a good thing. Okay. So I think we're good. We're gonna close it down for today.
So we didn't level up?
Yeah, you didn't level up. I will say you guys level up when you level up.
Oh.
One question. Because I
Probably
want
after
to know
we
this.
kill a thing.
Is it very, very distant future? Because given I have to spend all my money to get spells, I need to save up, or do I keep getting first level spells? I want to know that. Is it far away, or should I start saving up?
I can always lend you money.
Are you asking me when the level up is happening so you can start saving up
I mean,
for second level spells?
I don't want you to tell me like it's tomorrow or something like that, but should I? Because it's expensive as fuck to get second level spells. So do I need to keep some money, or am I spending because I have a lot of time yet left?
I would keep some money because I don't think it's metagaming to say. If you guys complete everything next session that I think you're going to complete, I think you will be level 3 in 2 or 3 sessions, because we've done basically 1, 2 of everyone's kind of individual missions. Rebecca has to do hers, and then I have an individual mission for essentially everyone.
Okay.
And once we
can
finish,
I?
go ahead.
Kind of
Okay,
guess
sorry,
what our missions are going to be.
Sorry, I forgot to tell you this earlier, but since we went to the Yawning Portal, could we say like I asked 3 Strings, like supposedly he was going to look out for anything, like do some insight, some spying for me, see if he knows anything. Like next session we can see it, but keep that in mind.
Cosmos, I've got one for you specifically, and it, oddly enough, it has nothing to do with Thurnan.
I can kind of guess what some of our single quest mission would be, though.
I would be super surprised if you could guess them at all. And if you did, I would say you are probably doing some kind of, what's it called? Spoiler-esque activities. Anyways, guys, thank you all for coming. I will get that written recap up as quickly as possible. And, yeah, any questions, just send those to me in a DM or whatever, and I'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.